Well, well, well. We find ourselves here on a Friday. For how long, we don't know. What a week it has been, though. It has been eventful, to say the least. And to say that today is not equally, if not more so, as eventful would be telling a bit of a lie, considering it is a big new release day. If you go to any site that talks about new releases, you'll find lists a mile long. I probably got at least, let's actually count how many new albums for the 2020 releases playlist. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 15 in total for this week alone. There is a 16th that's on here, but that's a album I missed from a couple of weeks ago that's not even metal to begin with. I'm a Doves fan, and they released something new earlier this month. So there is a ton that can be discussed. First thing I should probably address is those of you who have said hello in chat. Hi to Scott, hi to IE, hi to Dubai. Thank you very much for stopping by. It's an atypical streaming day, especially lately. I did, however, have some family visiting from Florida that got in on Tuesday and just departed early this morning, so was doing the whole family thing. And there's been a lot of event that has happened in the time period that they were even here. Like Nemo being here. Mr. Nemo has arrived. Good afternoon, Andrew. Hope that you're having a good day. Hope that you've had a good week. Tool 123. Welcome back. Nemo's going to be the new star of the show. Nemo, address the nation. Address them all. Let them know how you're feeling. He says no. I do not have a statement for this audience. Currently, we are listening to something from the new Ocean album. This right now is actually the second track that we're playing from that album. We're going to switch things up to Triassic, the opener on the album. But before that, we were listening to Miocene / Flyocene, or Flyocene. I don't know, these are all based off of eras of planetary life. Do I look like a geologist? Do I look like a planetary studying nerd person boyfriend? That would be a no. I do not know of all these things. I just know that Jurassic's a thing because there's a park. It's not even real, but you know. Those folks in the ocean, they're a lot smarter than I am, and damn good music to go with it. Their brand new album, which was released today, is very, very good. To steal a quote from somebody very, very near and dear to us, the one and the only Lurk and Lurch Murphy, I had to change my pants because they are now a sperm bank. Howdy, howdy to Maximo. MGK released his pop punk album. I'm sure it's going to do very well. I'm sure it's going to sell very well. There's going to be a lot of folks that are going to be very, very happy with it. Pop punk for me just has never really been a genre that I've ever gotten into. I'm kind of still like searching maybe for those magical bands that are going to get me headlong into it, or at least give me something that I enjoy and want to listen to consistently. You know, I'm not knocking the subgenre anymore because it's a full-fledged scene, and it's actually gone through a big portion of its lifespan as a major scene. You know, coupled alongside the myriad of emo, screamo, post-hardcore, and all of the associated Warped Tour style bands that sort of were all lumped within it. then I'm sure that's going to do very, very well. Myth! Why, yes, you can. My apologies, my friend. I noticed that afterward, and then, well, I don't know if you had to depart or if we just didn't meet up. I feel that I was either ranting or playing with cats. Either which way is no excuse. I need to get that song played for you, sir. So, first thing is first, can I actually get into my PayPal, which has been a genuine issue over the course of the past couple weeks. Okay, what in the world? What in the world is going on here? Might have to reset things. That should have been what it was. Okay. We're going to actually go through that. Let's try that. Oh, that's not true. Apparently I had to reset my password. That way I could get in. This is just an easier way for me to go about it instead of constantly having to look at that phone. But, I, Adam Katz rule. The chair is awesome. I love it. I love it. Hi, Ross. Do I read any comic books? Right now, I really don't. Whenever I did, there were 2 series that I collected for, I want to say it was like maybe a shorter period of time. Yeah, I was young whenever I did. There was a Sonic the Hedgehog comic that came out right after the games. I think it was right after Sonic 2 came out. And whenever I saw there was a comic book for it, I jumped on that immediately. I got into it with the second issue, so I never had a copy of the original first issue. One of my friends actually had it, so I got to read it at his place 1,000 years ago. But I stuck with that for, gosh, about 4 years, because I know I made it to issue 50. I had a couple of the special edition trilogy series, or, you know, offshoot series that involved some of the other characters, and then got out of it. And then I was also into the Batman comics for a while, which bridged off into like the Robin and the others during the Gotham earthquake angle that they had. I'm trying to remember what they called that cycle, because it did have a specific name. And, you know, I've read like the Watchmen and a couple of the other more fabulous ones. I don't own any of those. Watchmen's actually one that's owned by Faith. Off of the chair, Nemo. Yes, I've told you this ever since I got it. Chair is not to be clawed up. The first one that I ever had was the first comic that I ever had was The Death of Superman. Yeah, it's the only thing about the new chair that I will say is that I need to be a little bit of a hard ass with the cats whenever it comes to it, because if not, then they're going to claw this up quickly, and I do not want that to happen. I would prefer that it stay intact for a lot longer. Thoughts on the new Cataclysm? I listened to a little bit. The thing I'll say about it is that whenever I was listening to it last night, I was kind of just relaxed. I was trying to stay up as long as I could to listen to new stuff, but during that album, about 2 to 3 tracks in, I did drift off and finally fell asleep. It was not because of the quality of music. It sounded like the riffs were really good. The only negative I'll say about it is that I've sort of heard a lot of it before out of Cataclysm, but they're also You know, it's part of the style. It's part of what Cataclysm is. You know, they are, you know, a death metal band from the 2000s. They have a certain sound to them. I'd like to pop it again and have the opportunity to have a little bit more of a full-fledged approach with it and cycle through. There's been so much that I've been trying to get to. That way I'm prepared for the stream. But I can tell you the things that I did get through. And I'll have to, of course, repeat it about 18 different times as people come in. Amber, you want to come up? You want to come up, babes? Don't you go scratching the chair, because you're guilty of doing that too. But you're also guilty of enjoying it a lot. You've been up here a good bit. Want to come up? Come on. Come on. There's my girl. There's my girl, Ember. She's a little shy, so she may not want to be on camera. But, yeah, I liked what I heard from the Cataclysm album that I was able to retain and remember, but I need to give it another serious run through in order to speak about it in any sense. So, hey, Myth, here we go. We have De Heptarchia Mystica from Rannoch. This is off of their 2020 album Reflections Upon Darkness, which I have not listened to. Shame on me. Time for that to be added to the 2020 releases playlist. Completely out of order. Who the hell cares? Let's go. Bam. Thanks, by the way, for the donation, Myth. I did already add that into our total for the event thus far. So that number that you see on your left is completely accurate. Yes, we are 35 videos deep. Remember, we make it to 40. I'm going to give you guys 10 for free. Probably going to be a mixture of some of the second place contestants in polls, etc. We'll determine that if we make it there. And if we make it to 50 videos funded, Diabarathon will be taking place, which means my hearing will be a memory. Ah, kitty! Both of those, Ross, are perfectly acceptable. Both of those are perfectly acceptable. Yes, the albums that I've listened to thus far from this week's slew are as follows. I need to get back to my playlist here. You'll have to pardon me. I have made it through the first half of Transitus by Arion. I started listening to that before the stream. I got through the first disc out of 2, and I really, really like it. I think it's a really good album. What's interesting about this is that there are no songs on this disc that are longer than 5.5 minutes. So it's kind of taken the approach of one of the previous records, The Theory of Everything. It's taken that approach of using sort of smaller tracks in order to tell the stories. Another great example would be a majority of like the Human Equation and some of those others. There's no epic on here, and I think that's honestly okay, because the way that this has been spaced out so far in the first act has been really well done. The story is easy to digest. The concept, I feel, could be easily, at least from what I've heard so far within the first act, it's a concept that could be easily revisited and become part of the canon and the universe, that becomes sort of a commonplace theme that maybe stretches across future albums, or maybe you could even apply some concepts to prior albums. It's got some really neat dynamic to it, and the overall idea of Transitus sort of being this purgatory style place is really cool. You know, it adds more lore to the overall Arion universe, the Eri universe, if you will. How you doing, Maru? Welcome. I know it's Friday and we're streaming. It's weird. But yeah, I need to listen to the second half of Transitus. And was really, really happy to hear Tom Baker on that disc. Really, really happy to hear Tom Baker on that disc. And was surprised to learn that he has provided voice for a couple of other albums in the past, including one from the alternative band Manson. Not Marilyn Manson. M-A-N-S-U-N. Manson is how it looks stylistically. That was all the way back in the 90s. So he's been, he's done video game work, voice work and things like that. So he's kept himself busy. It's been, almost 40 years since his last episode of Doctor Who. The new album from the Ocean, Phanerozoic 2, Mesozoic and Cenozoic, is exceptionally good. It is very, very good. I was originally a little bit surprised at the 8-track length of this. And if you had listened to Jurassic/Cretaceous, you have heard a very large chunk of the album, if I'm being honest. We have some shorter songs on here, aside from the very opening two, Triassic and then Jurassic/Cretaceous, or Cretaceous, whichever you prefer. I mean, that right there, that is a bulk of the album. That's 22 minutes on an album that I think may have 22 minutes among its final 5 or 6 tracks. It might push a little bit more than that. And it doesn't exactly help me whenever I look at whenever I look it up, because it includes the second disc, which are just the instrumentals. But you cut that in half, 1 hour and 42 minutes for both of those two. I don't know. I'm not aiming to do math today. And it's 102 minutes, so I guess I am going to do the math today, so it's 51. So, it's just a little, the other 6 tracks are just barely longer than the first 2 that you get on this record. But it's a very, very good record. I highly recommend it. You should certainly check it out. I think it has a lot going for it. I tried out a band called Hateful with their album Set Forever on Me. They are more of a death metal band. Do have a little bit of history, but to me it was just okay. I think I have to give it another listen or two. But from what I heard, it was passable. To me, it's going to be one of those albums where if I ever want to shoot through something to kill a little bit of time and just give a band another chance, this is probably a good Redemption style band. Not the band Redemption, but where it's given second and third and fourth chances over the course of the coming years. Probably a band that I'll still try to follow, though may forget. That's the thing I'm a little bit fearful of. That I do tend to forget some things. So again, I want to give it another shot. Give it another shoot through. Maybe we'll play something off of that album during the stream today, and you guys can determine whether or not it's something you wish to check out. Again, like I said, I did listen to the first couple tracks of the Cataclysm disc and did like it, but ended up falling asleep. I was doing that at like 3:30 last evening. Uada. Jin came out, and my lord, is Jin awesome. It's a really, really good album. The only complaints that I have on this disc, No Place Here is 13 minutes and 41 seconds in length, and I don't think it needed to be that long. They definitely felt like they were stretching for time with this song, and it was proven with Between Two Worlds, the closer of the album, which is 13 minutes and 57 seconds in length. It's 16 seconds longer than No Place Here, and just handles the time so much better. The one thing I will say about Jin is that it's a guitar album in many ways. It's got some damn good riffs on it on songs such as the self-titled Jin, The Great Mirage, Between Two Worlds, ends with a killer guitar solo that reminds me of iconic album closers, at least in my mind, such as Blood and Concrete from Forgotten Tomb, which that's not really more of a guitar solo as it's just a guitar idea that's repetitive. Here, you know, I want to throw one of those Hateful songs on here. This is the band Hateful. We're going to go with... which one are we going to go with? Let's go with this one right here. Why is this not telling me all of the information? The irretrievable dissolution process on what? What's the last word here? Come on, cycle through. Okay, the irretrievable dissolution process on the shores of time. Thanks, Spotify, for cutting that off. I appreciate that. I appreciate you. Jay Morris, what's going on? The douche is here. Dane is here asking about the new Dune trailer. I have not seen it as of yet. See you later, Ross. Stop on back, you hear? I appreciate you. I thank you, brother. But yeah, that's a very good album. The top 10 right now is crowded enough as it stands, and it's only going to get even more crowded. There are going to be some very good albums that are going to end up in the 11 through 20 range that will probably create some people's jimmies getting rustled a little bit, but it has been a great year. It has been a terrific year, and yesterday I forgot. Yesterday, should I say, I realized that I forgot that whenever I've been talking about comeback albums, you know, from bands that have been gone for a good bit, I've mentioned Pure Reason Revolution, I've mentioned Green Carnation, mentioned Hum, and I totally neglected And Oceans with Cosmic World Mother back in May. What a terrific album that was. I just revisited that yesterday morning, and wow, such a solid release. That is such a solid release from And Oceans, and really, really great comeback. But I have albums to still listen to from Svalbard, who are apparently like post-hardcore / you know, one of those types, which did not match the album cover, but I'm still going to give it a try. Some of that stuff could end up being pretty good. Crepuscule d'Hiver I've heard of, though I have not gotten the opportunity to listen to anything. Their new album, Par de la Noire Grâce et Brume Sinister, or Sinister. Yeah, Sinister. Just was released today, which includes a very, very Evil Toad approved, if he knows about it, 20-minute and 35-second long closer, which we'll have to see how good that ends up being. I still need to listen to Obsidian Kingdom's Meat Machine, which is described as progressive alternative. That sounds exciting as far as I'm concerned. Lethean Dreams, we just played a song by that title not too long ago here in stream. There's a band with that same moniker, Lethean Dreams, with a brand new album that just came out entitled A Shadow of Memories. That's atmospheric black metal from what I have been told. Dwarodelf with Even Star, similar case scenario, more black metal, I guess. I have listened to Chrome Waves, Where We Live, which is more of a post metal / shoegaze combination, and I loved it. I thought it was a great disc. I think Chrome Waves might be one of those like little secret underground heroes of this week so far. Though there is one thing that I will say in defense to those that maybe are not the biggest fans of shoegaze and post metal. There is a certain element of sameness that is starting to come from some of these groups. But so long as the music sounds good and it just kind of provides that chill mood, it's not going to affect me much whenever it comes to critical analysis. Again, there have been those that have, complained massively that there is a lacking of originality in some elements of music, in some subgenres of metal. Some things just aren't for them, or they feel that some are overpopulated. This is a problem that you're going to get whenever kind of a new kid comes to town and has something exciting to play with, something new. Everyone then wants that same toy. And post-metal / black gaze or whatever is, it's been around for a while. We've talked about it. We even sort of heralded it back in 2016, and that was going to be a really, really big deal in coming years, and we ended up being exactly correct. But again, so long as the music is good, it becomes something. It goes further than it just being a preference. It goes that the sound itself and the overall construction and musicianship is well done. Is Chrome Wave's necessarily going to make a top 50 list? It could sneak in. I don't see this being an album that's going to be rising the charts and taking over, being a new number one or something like that. No. There's a lot of bands out there very like Chrome Waves, and that does have to be taken into consideration somewhat. But it's a solid disc. The album's entitled Where We Live. Here's Hallowed Dreams from it. We'll go ahead and play that. And then I still have to listen to Symbols by Desert Lord and Conduit from Proscription. Ohms by the Deftones was quite good. Speaking of bands that have sort of taken a little bit of a, not really a shoegazy route, but has certainly let their evolution take them into some dreamy directions as far as composition goes. Dreamy as far as the Deftones could potentially take it. Ohms has a lot of sliceable edge to it, while also having just some really great compositions overall. So there's a lot out there, and let me tell you, there is a lot more. There's a lot more. Do not scratch the chair. I've been telling you that for 2 days too, Ember. Chair's new. You can scratch it in a week. Want to come up? Want to come hang out with me? If you want that, then just hang out with me. But there's just a ton of stuff. The song we were listening to previously was entitled "The Irretrievable Dissolution Process on the Shores of Time." The band's name was, and is still, Hateful. Yeah, we'll get you. You're coming up here. Nope. There's Emby. Look at that. Look how calm you are now that you're with me. Want to sit? Want to sit? Sorry if I was a little rough whenever I was getting you off the chair. But I have told all of you not to scratch the chair. This is not the old chair. The old chair you could scratch to your heart's content because it was old. Yeah, for those of you who don't know the story, music is a bit quiet, or I am too loud. Might just be the music in this case. Turn that up a little bit. They are a little low with their mix. Oh, you know what? That was a little low by comparison to other streams. I just didn't notch it up enough. I don't have a preset for that. Anyhow. Where you going, babes? What you doing? Oh, you don't want on camera. You're shy. You're such a shy girl. You shouldn't be a shy girl, though, Ember. You shouldn't be a shy girl. Everybody loves you. Everybody loves you because you're sweet. You're so sweet. Look at you. She would spend the whole day with me up here if she could. And actually, with the brightness on this camera, her collar looks a little bit like Blaze's, because Blaze's is more of a yellow-orange. That is not a true color here. It's just a reflection, because it's a little sparkly. It's a sparkly collar. Like a sparkly brown. Like a bronze. Meow. But, yeah, it has been a stacked day musically, and yeah, I can guarantee you that there are so many albums that I'm not going to get the opportunity to get to, because the list was a whole page long over on Metal Storm, and it was to the point where I was just grabbing stuff because the album cover looked cool. You know, I wasn't checking out or researching anything about these groups. You know, I just looked at album covers, and that was all that mattered to me. I would have grabbed everything, but there was some stuff that wasn't available, for one, and for two. Do you think I have that kind of time? No, I certainly don't. If there were 72 hours in every single day, then maybe I could do that, but I would not. No. No. I cannot do that. So, but anyway, for those of you who don't know the story, 2 days ago on Wednesday, I sat down to have some lunch. I was actually talking with my mom on the phone at the time. She had called me to let me know that my dad and my uncle from Florida were going to come by and check out the place, check out the house. My uncle hadn't seen it since he was here last year, and that was before we moved in. So he hadn't gotten a chance to see it fully furnished and, you know, lived in for a year. And, you know, I was just telling her that was fine and all that, you know, just telling her that I sat down to eat, and I'd been, you know, working on, you know, cleaning the place and making it presentable for the last like 3 or 4 hours. I had worked really hard. And we were just about to get off the phone with one another, and I went to just lean on this side a little bit, just to sort of readjust my position. And the arm snapped off of the chair, ripped right off of the soldering and everything. I fell to the floor. My elbow got rammed into the metal that was a part of that chair. This is wood. That one was mostly metal on the arms. And so my mother got a nice big ol' swear word in her ear from me, which is not something that I typically do. So apologies still go out to my mom for having to deal with that. So I had to do an emergency chair shopping adventure on Wednesday. Yeah, the squeaky chair. I think I found out why it was squeaky. I think that was the reason why it was squeaky. It wasn't on the hinge. It was actually the hinge going up to the arm. Because I was noticing... The funny thing was the day before it happened, I noticed that, for one, there was a bolt missing on that same side. And it had been missing for a long time. And second of all, something on that side just didn't feel right. So I should have known that it was going to come, that it was going to happen. But honestly, I thought the chair was invincible because it survived 23 years. Whenever my bottom first hit that chair, I was in middle school. You know, I had not even graduated out of, primary school or anything like that. I was in the 7th grade. It was 1997 whenever I received that chair. Some of you may not have even been alive. The former chair may actually be older than you, but it has now died. It has now ripped in pieces. But that chair was old enough to legally drink and smoke in America. It could have served in the military. It could have, gotten married or, whatever. It could have voted. is wild. That tumble, by the way, in case you're curious, considering y'all know just how beat up I already am, based off of chronic pain, not exactly fun. Didn't feel very good. I actually thought that I may have done a number on my elbow. That thing was throbbing throughout the day, and through chair shopping, I actually felt a little bit of numbness in my pinky. So I think there was definitely a nerve that was pinched, at least for a little while. My chair can vote Trump? Nah, it's dead. It wouldn't have voted for Trump anyway. It would have voted for a really cool rock. Chair always told me that he thought inanimate objects were better than the actual people we have on the ballots. Oh, the new Ocean album's terrific, rated. Yeah, I just did a run through all that stuff. You might have just came in. So if you did just come in, welcome. How you doing? Yeah, I really liked the Ocean album a lot. It was great. Like, this chair told me that it doesn't even plan on voting, mostly because it's an infant. It's an infant. This chair is 2 days old. It's still puking, and peeing itself, all that stuff. It too would vote for inanimate objects, probably. What if furniture and like inanimate objects had their own politics? We just don't know about it. Like in the forest, there are little signs that we think that just some carving that some Dick Canoe did whenever he was out to try to impress his girlfriend or whatever. Thought somebody like took a Bowie knife to it or something like that, but no, it's actually like a tree that's promoting a leaf for Congress, for Leaf Congress. Maybe there's a king. Maybe there's a king in these forests, and it's not a lion or a tiger or a bear. Oh my! Maybe it is actually a stump. Maybe it is actually a stump. Who knows? But yeah, I really like that Ocean album. It was kind of weird that the first two tracks are like half of the disc, But hey, it doesn't matter if the music's good. Cool format. Did I listen to Synthwave? No, not really, Johnny Horseman. How you doing, man? Thanks for stopping out. I don't listen to a lot of Synthwave. Every so often, maybe I'll toss on a track here or there. I don't know artists whenever it comes to that very much. Anytime I've ever really listened to Synthwave, it's usually been like chill out collections, or I see if maybe like if I hear something like a video game or something like that, I'll see if there's more things that are like it. Hotline Miami, that series was really good for that kind of music. There's a lot of really chill music in that game. Yeah, that's a good point. Rated is that for how and again, if you can write an epic where the time feels, it doesn't feel like the time is measurable. It instead feels like it just flies. Whenever a 13-minute song feels like a 5-minute track. And it has so many different like little undulations to it, almost like it's a song of halves or quarters. That's a really good sign. That is a tremendously good sign, and as a result, you have a very approachable and easy to listen to 13-minute long plus epic. Now, don't do this to me again, you dumb fuck. You're not going to. I was the one that messed up. Very good. I can certainly get behind that. I can't think of words right now. Words are stupid. What is all of these ads? I just want to know that information over there. Okay, very good. Thank you. It's been so long since I've been on the dashboard, desktop variety of this. They hear new Alien. Yes, I have heard the first half of it. First disc, I really liked it. I need to listen to disc 2. I was listening to disc 1 prior to the stream, so my experience with that album literally spans less than an hour ago. And yeah, Meat Money, it has been that kind of a week. And if you know, I'm sure you know, many of you know, that chairs are not cheap anymore. Like, I looked at that chair that I had before, and I'm thinking, man, that's kind of a piece of shit looking thing. You know, it's just this blue chair that had, you know, made of wood that looked like it had carpet as its cushion. You know, it had that metal frame. You know, the bottom portion where the legs extended out to the wheels, that was plastic. You know, you listen to that and you think to yourself, oh, or you think to yourself, man, that chair is probably like it was a cheap chair. You'd think it'd be cheap. I guarantee you that thing was like $100. Because back in 1997, that chair was probably, you know, high end. You know, maybe not, you know, it wasn't an executive's chair, which is a different variety. Neither is this. I don't need an executive's chair. I don't need a gaming chair either. I had a gaming chair that was a floor chair. You'd be amazed how hard that was to sell. I don't really listen to synthwave much now. Now, unfortunately, if you're looking for a synthwave conversation, I'm going to be a hard one to get that out of, simply because I would be doing more learning than providing within that realm. I would be asking more questions than I would be spilling knowledge. But yeah, this was a it was a surprise, genuinely, to me, that you could get chairs like this, and even some that look like 10 times shittier, like ones that look really, really bad. And those were like more expensive than this one. I'll give you an example. There was one that I saw that looked like, I swear to you, it was a it's like one of those really, really ugly chairs that you see in living rooms. Not a recliner. This is kind of like a recliner in a desk chair. This is actually a Lazy Boy brand, so it makes sense. But there were ones that looked like those really ugly, like floor chairs that you see in living rooms or dining rooms. You know, they have that like white fabric, or not fabric. It's like white leather that has those obnoxious like little pins in them or whatever. I don't even know. Like, they put that into it. Like, they basically just took one of those chairs, and instead of putting legs on it, they threw wheels underneath of it. And it looked really stupid. And it was wide, too. And, like, these wheels were really small, so it looked really disproportioned. It was ugly. But simply because of the materials that were used and things like that. And this thing didn't even, like, recline back. Like, you were there and you were stuck in this position. Well, actually, let me give you an example. You were stuck in this position. Like, I don't know if it was like a good posture chair or something. I don't freaking know. But, you know, with this one here, you have this option where you don't have the ability to recline. So if you have to have that posture, you know, as they say, good posture is great for typing, and this is to, you know, discourage you from getting shoulder pain and neck pain from being in front of a computer. You know, you can improve your posture while you're working or while you're, you know, scrolling around leisurely, listening to tunes and checking up on sports scores, gambling, and all that other crap. But this is just a little thing that just pops out, and then I'm able to lean back, which I love. This is how I love to spend nights, you know. I don't sleep in chairs like this. I probably could sleep in this chair, but I love having my legs up on the corner of this desk. I've done this ever since I was but a wee tot. Even whenever this, you know, this section here was populated by a much denser PC monitor. You know, one that had incredible depth to it. You couldn't put anything behind it. Or if something went behind it, it was pretty much lost, and you had to move everything in order to get to it. But I've always done this, and I knew that I wanted a chair that I could do this with. But But this here being 179 bucks was surprising enough. But to know that the ugly one that I was describing, that I was talking about, that was $250. Didn't recline, looked ugly, the proportions looked real fucked up. I don't even know if it went up or down. $250 simply because it's like that faux white leather and looks like a freaking, you know, a floor chair that you'd put in your living room. Am I drunk? No. I am not. I am sober as a bird. I have not touched alcohol in a long time. It has been a while. We do have a couple of donations, and I do want to address them. I was kind of on the up and up with chair discussion. First one's from Meatmon, who gives $54, says he wants to hear Winter Sun, aka the first album. He says, for when you've had that kind of a week. Also, my chair costs like $600. What kind of chair do you have, man? Is it one of those like gaming pro chairs that you have, or is it like an executive's chair? Because I know those can be very pricey. Looking at Staples, which is where I got this one, there was a range, but I did look at one furniture shop, and everything that they had was there was nothing that was under $400. And the stuff didn't look that great either. You know, like, if I wouldn't have found this my second time through Staples, because I just decided, let's go back in there. You know, because Faith was the one who drove me. She has a bigger vehicle, so, you know, I was able to use her, the trunk space of her Explorer. You know, she was almost like, are you sure? You know, like, we were going to go to, like, an Aaron's Rent-A-Center or whatever, and I was like, just go back to Staples. I'll find something there. And I found this one, and I'm just happy as can be with it. But we did stop at one furniture shop, and everything was just, like, there were not many really attractive options. Like, even the gaming chairs are kind of like, ugh, if you know what I'm saying. Like, even with those are kind of, ugh. My throat might be a little raw. That might be about it, you know. My throat might be a little bit raw. It's a DX. Okay, those DX racers are, yeah, those are pricey. How do I pronounce Migla? I pronounce it Migla. I'm probably wrong. I don't care. I see letters. I see MG. That's Mig. Or actually, it's Mug. Mug. And I see LA, and that's LA. That's Los Angeles. Migla. I don't care if I'm wrong. I'm right because I'm wrong. Margaret also dropping 16. Has a couple of tracks for us. Wants to hear Buku Shane with Old Blues, and Carrion with IRC, and Bat None. What the hell? That must be two artists that are together. So this might be a bit difficult to get into on first listening. It could even sound like Psychedelic Noise. And third track is Counting Hours with Blank Sunrise. We're going to go with those first. Meet Mun, just to... that way we can enjoy Winter Sun in its fullest, and if Maru has to depart for any reason, then we don't have to... We want to make sure we get those in for... Because you know how much I do dislike getting behind. Old Blues! Going to start things off, though, from Buku Shane. Here we go. One band, odd name, though. That is one band. Interesting. Oh. But, Mark, I did see that you had asked a question about my family. My family hails from the Atlantic side of Florida, Flagler Beach, a little bit north of Daytona Beach. Yeah, that's a Daytona Beach, not really a suburb. It takes about, a half hour, 45 minutes to get to Daytona Beach from Flagler. You may also be aware of Palm Coast. Porque, I'll be honest with you, I did look at Walmart. They had one chair. And it was $189. And it did not even look that good. I looked all around. It's got to be just our Walmart here. You know, either that or they're, you know, recycling things in from. I think I hit the back to school sales late, so I missed them. If this would have occurred in, say, the tail end of August or like the middle of August, I probably could have had my pick and would have no doubt would have encountered sale after sale, you know what I mean? But unfortunately, no such luck on my part whenever it comes to that. And that's okay, you know, what are you going to do? You know, if I didn't find anything at Staples, I was then going to have to look on the, I was going to have to look at Amazon. And, I'm sure there's some lovely stuff over there. Oh, excuse me. I'm sure there is some lovely stuff over there. But, you know, the nice part about going to a store and they have them out there on display is that you can sit in them. You know, you can sit in them. Record store I worked in, no longer in the area. As far as my area is concerned, that record store no longer exists. They parted ways with me a number of years back, but they didn't survive in their present location because that location, the owners of the mall that it was in, wanted too much money for rent, for monthly or yearly rent, and were not willing to negotiate. And also wanted the store to sign a multi-year deal as opposed to a year deal, which they were not willing to do anything that wasn't multi-year. Store wanted to do 1 year because the mall where it was located is very much dying. It still has stores in it, not many. Its highlight is a like an indoor flea market type thing or antique store. It's more of an antique store, should I say. I don't know if you're familiar with shops where you can go in with your own things. You can buy a little area. You know, you can rent a little area for yourself, and then you set up your items. So it's like having a yard sale every single day, you know, where people can come in and buy your things. It's like a lot, you know. That's kind of the highlight of the mall right now that I once used to work at a record shop in, which is really cool. Now the mall is still there. That place is I'll tell it to you like this, Meat Mun. That mall should have died years ago. The tax office that I worked with was in that mall, actually, for a number of years. A branch of it. There's 5. At one point, there was 6. Actually, at one point, at its height, there was like 7 or 8 different branches of this office. They've now receded back down to 4 because of saturation. And... you know, lack of cut. You know, more people are doing their taxes online, so they've had to reduce, got a little cost. But there used to be one that was in that mall as well, and one of our higher ups, you know, one of our managers is very, very good friends with the manager of the mall, and even she basically looked right at Pam, who was the owner of the mall, and said, "No, what you want is ridiculous." Regards from Nepal. Hey, regards from the U.S. Nice to see you, man. Appreciate you stopping out. Hey, that was Buko Shane with Old Blues. We're now going to move on to Chiron and Irse. It's I-R-S-E with an exclamation mark, so I should say that with more inflection. Irse! Or Irse! song is entitled Ann Bat Nun. Huh? But if it's something weird like that, you know it's probably good. And thus far, it sounds awesome. That rules. Okay. Sound exchange, eh? Sound exchange. Bet you they don't pay well. And I can guarantee you, poor K, they probably don't want me. They would probably take one look at me and be afraid that their jobs would be gone. Speaking about management. Because I've been out of that game for about, it's been 5 years that I've been out of that game. It'll be 6 years this coming February since I parted with, the company parted ways with me. But I guarantee you, if I jump right back in, I will be just as good, if not better, than I was. Especially if it's a place where the primary goal of the store is to sell the product, is to sell the music. Because the problem near the end of the record store that I was at, it was an FYE, it was a chain store. So they had all their little, incentive projects or products and things like that, selling magazine subscriptions like they're freaking, high schooler trying to raise money to go on a freaking field trip or some shit like that. They wanted you to build this basket and do all these little additive things. Now listen, you don't have to tell somebody to build a basket if they're a music fan or if they know music. You see a customer holding something in their hands, asking a question, and you're able just to use your knowledge, That's why there's old head music geeks that you might remember if you go into stores and ever talk with some of the workers. You see some old head music geek that wants to tell you about that time in 1968 where he's pretty sure he saw Paul McCartney in a boutique that was, somewhere in town, when Paul McCartney would never come to your shit town even if he was paid handsomely, Those old heads are always good, though, whenever it comes to telling you about tunes. Well, there you go, poor K. You're thinking about working there? You think they have enough people? Believe me, whenever I tell you this, there are some seasons where there's never enough people. There are some seasons where there are never enough people. Check around the Black Friday and the Christmas season. Actually, you should check now and ask them if they end up hiring more for those seasons. Because if they do, they're going to want to start getting people together in October. Just as a little hiring tip. Now, mind you, I don't know what those stores are like by comparison to a chain store like FYE that's selling headphones, accessories, different electronics, t-shirts. That store, that whole chain has become more of like hot topic for music fans, which sounds great until you realize, actually no, all the t-shirts are from like TV shows or random stupidity. They had a whole big display for WWE stuff, which, again, sounds really cool until you realize the WWE actually spent money to have candy bars made and wine. They sold drones during one Christmas season. Essentially, they were jumping on anything that they thought that they could make some money off of, which sounds like it makes good business sense. However, the problem is that whenever you are not known previously for those styles of products or those kinds of products, if you're not associated with those varieties, then people don't know whether or not to trust you as as a retailer or as a location to find those things. And plus, whenever you get only one variety, you basically monopolize the option. You're going to have a lot of folks that maybe are interested in something like that, but want to see different things that are available. That place is a lot more boring? Good. That makes me think a lot more about what FYE was during the first part of the 2010s. I liked it good and boring. I really did. Because I'll tell you what, I filled a lot of gaps in my music knowledge, especially whenever it came to current music of that time. I filled a lot of gaps just walking around that store straightening CDs and looking at stuff. You know? Never stop looking at stuff, even if it's stuff that you could care less about. You know? I knew what songs were big on the radio at that point because my best friend at the time, she and I would drive around and she was big in the top 40 radio. So I made it my quest to know what albums those big songs were off of, because these folks come in. You know, a lot of times folks come in, they just heard a song on the radio. That's what, they're like, I want this song. You know, it's part of the singles culture. You know, maybe it's different now that it's been, you know, a decade later. But they would come in and they would say, I want Pontoon by Little Big Town. You know, you have the CD to have, you have a CD that got that some Pontoon on it from Little Big Town. That's what they'd say. And you would know exactly where it was. Little Big Town's in country. It's in your country music section. You know what I mean? You knew where that was. The only thing you didn't know is whether or not you had one in the inventory, because for the time that it would take for you to look it up, it's easier just to walk over there and look. You know? But it helps that you know, yeah, the song Pontoon by Little Big Town is off of the album entitled Tornado. So you have that information already. It's ready in your mind. Blank Sunrise by Counting Hours to finish up the trio of Maru tracks, which I'm very, very thankful for. I love all of you, but I love you the most. JK, I love all of my children the most. But anyhow, I'm very aware of Age of Excuse, but I will certainly listen to it again. That's over on Metal Storm. That's one of the highest rated albums of all time. Appreciate Ink in the Water. Forest of Stars is also very good. Appreciate it. But there you go. I mean, that's just critical information to know. You know, it helps you along the way. And you're still going to get challenged. Like, I still got challenged plenty of times to look for tracks for people. And of course we had tools to help us. But not everything was going to be perfect. You know, so, like, they discouraged having cell phones on the floor. I kept my phone. I did not give a shit. Because guess what that meant? That meant that if I didn't know what song or what album that a song was off of, I could just go whoop. And the thing is, you hold it up to your face enough, you know, close enough, it looks like you're just using like an app for the store, or, you know, for an employee or something like that. You know, you make it less obvious that you're just going to Google. You know what I mean? You know, you make it less obvious that you're just going to Google and finding out. And then you know which album it is. And you go over to the section, you look for that album. It's not there, it's not there. Then you have your next tool go over special order for. You know, you present them with consistent options. They don't want to do that, that's fine. Tell them, hey, I don't know if you have a little bit of time, but keep on looking around. I'm sure you're going to find something else. If you have any other questions, come to me. You know, or if I knew something about that group, if I knew something about that band, I'd say, hey, you know, have you heard something from this guy, or these guys, or these girls, or whatever. You know, that maybe you transition it a little bit better. Man, I really liked Blank's work on Blank. You know, maybe you say, hey, what was that band that Derek Trucks was in before he was in Tedeschi Trucks? Maybe you start a conversation with somebody. You know, it shows that it's more than just come in, talk to some drone who takes you to where you want to go, gets you the thing that you want to get, and then just processes you. You know, the most success I've ever had in a record store, in that environment, was getting to know my customers intimately whenever it came to their music taste, to the point where they would come in and look for me directly and ask me what was new. And I would tell them the list. I would shoot it down. I wouldn't have to look at shit. I would know because I put the stuff out. I was the one that usually put out new releases. About 147 years ago, man. I tell you what, there must be some magic in those Scandinavian forests. Maybe I need to go there to preserve my essence for another 500 years. Clanad, oh boy. Yeah, you would probably mention the name at the closest record store here and get some. You would get some looks. They would be like, you would get one of two things. You would either get the blank stare. I don't think I've ever heard of them. I'll have to look it up. Or you would get somebody who wants to try to impress you. I saw this a lot. Okay, I saw this a ton. I would see workers, not necessarily in my own store, but I would see workers try to impress the customers or attempt to relate to them by lying and saying that they knew about something that they did not. That is a very, very large faux pas. Because what happens if that customer retorts back with information about that band or asks, hey, which do you think is the best? Or which one do you really like? Because then you're in trouble. Then what are you going to say? Oh, I like all of them. Or like, the newest one's pretty good. You know, without having a little bit of information to back you up, it's going to make you look silly. And I've seen that happen a good bit. Or sometimes there'll be, sometimes it gets into something as simple as just gender. You have a young man, maybe in his early 20s, some hot little mama comes in and presents him with something he doesn't know, tries to impress her by saying, yeah, I listen to her all the time. I listen to them all the time. I love that stuff. Thinking that maybe, just maybe, he can chat her into a date. Or sometimes it'll happen in the inverse, where it'll be a girl that tries to impress a guy with that information. Maybe a young guy tries to show the older music knowledgeable gent that he can hang or she can hang or things like that. I've seen all sorts of things like that. I think that's why whenever both of the managers that were above me for a number of years were older, both of them were in their 50s, early 60s. I think that's why whenever they recognized the depth of knowledge that I had, they were surprised and pleasantly. And then the fact that I was still willing to admit that I had a lot to learn and a lot to explore. So, I was willing to ask, hey, who is this? And it wasn't like, well, duh, it's blank, like if you said, like, hey, you're listening to Bridge of Sighs, and let's say you're only used to the Opeth edition. You say, hey, wait, this isn't Opeth. Who is this? It's Robin Trowler, That's just an example. But, I'm not trying to toot my own horn with that either. But having a nice, vast knowledge, even if you don't listen to everything, sometimes just having a little bit of know-how is good. Because then, whenever you do get to interact with that music or listen to it with some of these folks, if they're not just playing some boring, repetitive, store-licensed bullshit playlist, then you can really bond over things like that. Like my manager, my direct higher-up, who I was going to inherit that store from if things hadn't gone awry. Whenever he would play things, because he would bring in his own CDs and stuff like that, it was a real chill environment, so long as, one of the higher-ups from FYE weren't there. He ran a real chill store. And I tried to bring that same philosophy to it, though I was a little bit higher energy. Usually whenever he would listen to things like that, he would then talk to me about, yeah, I saw these guys in 75, or, I saw these guys in 82. I'm going to see these guys again in 2 months, because he was still actively going to shows. If he took a day off, or if he took vacation or something like that, usually his vacation was spent, at that point it was either going off to the other side of PA with his son, because that's where his son went to college for 4 years. either that, or he had shows planned that he was going to go to, or he would leave early some days to go to shows. There's a gentleman and his wife. So the four of them, my manager and his wife, and then these two must have always like double dated to shows. So they all must have had the same taste. But before he would leave, this gent and his wife would come up. And I knew exactly who it was, the minute that they came in. So I knew that he was about to leave. And I always took stuff in there too, or I always found stuff in the store that I just wanted to play. Hey, we have Winter Sun. We have the full first debut self-titled 2004 album from Winter Sun that we're going to be playing next. Thanks to the philanthropic arm that is Meatmun. Give him big time thanks in chat. Let's talk a little bit more about some new releases on the other side of the break. I am going to take a short recess here, catch a little bit of wind. But, yes. So I will be with you guys once again shortly. Have I heard the new Morris Principum Ace? Not as of yet, I don't believe. Please hold. Oh, the single? I've heard the single, yes. Oh, wait, they have two of them. I have not heard Lost in a Starless Ion, but I have heard A Day for Redemption. That new album's coming out, I think, in October. Same with the new Enslaved. But anyway, I will see you guys shortly on the other side of this break. Stick around, and I will tell you, after this is done, the stream's probably going to run till, 6:30 or so. So once this is completed, we're probably looking at about another hour and a half or so. If you're looking for an incentive to donate, remember, if you donate $5 or more, you are able to select a video idea that's going to go into the poll, which also means Maru and Meatmun, you have ideas that can be done, or that can be added to the poll for video number 36. Maru, you in fact actually have one for the last one too. We're a little bit behind with that. That's not a problem. Maybe give that a little bit of thought. But hey, if you're looking for a reason to donate today, if you're looking for a song or a type of song or something, donate for your favorite song that you have heard so far out of the releases that just came out today or that have come out this month. It's been a damn good month. But anyway, like I said, I will see you guys on the other side of the break. So do not go away. I will return momentarily. Howdy, howdy, howdy. Welcome, welcome. We are back. We are back indeed. The Deer Hunter rank 'em all. Meatmun. The Deer Hunter rank 'em all, I think it's already locked in. Yes, there's already a rank 'em all Deer Hunter that is locked in as one of the previous videos. Witty name! I was on the break. And I am now back. I am back. How are you? We are currently listening to Winter Sun their self-titled album from all the way back in 2004. We are talking a little bit about the past week. I just went through some memories of whenever I was working at a music shop, providing a little bit of advice maybe for those who are thinking about entering into the biz cliz. How many folks, how many of you potentially do you use any like Facebook marketplaces or Discogs or anything like that in order to still buy CDs? Did you guys buy CDs during the Bandcamp days where they were doing that kindness and providing full royalties to the song producers, the music makers? And we have $10 coming in from Meatmun, which, here's something weird for you. Add on to it. It's been 6 minutes since I received this alert on my phone, but it is still not yet appeared on the desktop site. So I'm beginning to understand why some of those just now it decides to pop up. I don't know what's going on. But that's how I miss things, understandably. Oh, I'm sorry, my friend. We are currently up to, and by the way, Meatmun with $10 wants to hear both of the new Mors Principum Est songs, which I gave an extra little flair to for fun, and because I'm bad. We're on Battle Against Time, track 4. Previous 3 songs that you heard: Beyond the Dark Sun, Winter Madness, and Sleeping Stars. That's in order. But the next track that we're about to hear is one of my favorites from Winter Sun of all time, Death and the Healing. I love the cleans in that song. Don't at me. Don't freaking at me. Yeah, weirdos. You ordered Reflections of a Floating World by Elder from the label through your record store. The CD will not do for that one. Oh, I tell you what, I would love to score a deal on just that entire discography. I do have a copy of Elder, or of Spire's Burn, which I would then probably either keep for myself and hoard like my Modeling of the Well albums. Either that, or I would maybe do a giveaway. The only thing that sucks about giveaways, and the reason why I haven't done very many giveaways as of lately, is that many of those, because of the way that the post has been and some of the difficulties that have been had in the past with post, with some of the different locations that I've attempted to ship to, should I say, I've had to make a lot of those contests would probably have to be restrictive toward who could potentially win, and I don't like that. I don't like that one bit, if I'm being honest with you. So until I can do things with either gift cards or something that y'all can, tangibly get, or, tangibly do, or whatever. Something that we can do without running into those difficulties where I have to be restrictive, which I don't like being restrictive. That's not fair. That's not fair to you guys. Basically, the best thing that I can do is giveaways is either some sort of content or things of that variety. Maybe I could buy you guys something on Bandcamp, or I don't know. Does Bandcamp do gift cards? I'd have to look into that. I'd have to look into that. Oh, that's okay, Adam. I kind of figured that I would be answering a myriad of questions on the new albums throughout the stream, since folks come in at different times. I like the new Deftones a lot. I like the fact that they still have that heavy, aggressive side to them. We didn't see as much of the clean vocals, or like some of those trademark Chino wails. Those harmonic wails like we did on an album such as Koino Yokon, or Diamond Eyes, or Gore even. But what we actually got were some really, really dreamy style backing tracks, especially that final cut. That final track on that album's catchy. I like it. Yeah, I really like the new album. I really like the new album. I want to listen to it a couple more times in order to really get a grounding approach on what I would rate it. Hey, no problem, Adam. Stick around, man. We're going to talk about a lot of stuff. Do you still have suggestions on your purse, your back pocket? Yeah, you sure do. You have 2 of them, in fact, Modern. You have 2 in your back pocket. You've not done too bad. Hey, I do want to mention that we are going to be talking about nu metal in one of those videos. We're going to be talking about it. How did nu metal reshape the landscape of how metal was perceived? We're going to do that. That's going to be kind of cool. I'm excited about that video because I have a lot to say about it, and what's interesting about it... Adam! You're the Adam! Brother! Dude! Buffalo! The new Foot album. Brother! Damn. Man. I like the new album, but man, it made me go back to Buffalo, and now it kind of had that effect that you kind of hope that you have, but you don't hope that it happens like this. Like, I listened to the new album, and then I'd go back to Buffalo, and now I'm playing Buffalo more than the new album. Like, the new album probably won't make my top 50 list, but, like, looking back, I'm really happy I included Buffalo on my list a couple years back whenever it dropped and included it so high. Like, I kind of forgot about it. Oh, man. Lied was such a good song, man. Like, I was a big, big fan, I remember, whenever it came out, of that track because of the Alice in Chains vibe, very Lane Staley approach, you know, and rediscovering that after a couple years, because finding their stuff on Spotify, was very difficult, and another thing I noticed is that I didn't use YouTube outside of playing stuff for streams very often. You know, I had to rely a lot on, promos that I got and things that I could play on Winamp. So I was very against using Spotify for a while, and then I got Last.fm back, and Spotify was just such a more reliable and easy thing to do, and now I love it, despite the fact they need to pay their artists better. That footstuff, that's still hard to find on Spotify. Like, you have to go into and just use titles of records and things, because simple words, they automatically assume that you want, like, American football or something that has the word within it. But yeah, Buffalo was really, really memorable. New album, I guess, it's decent, but like you said, the word you used, memorable. The album wasn't memorable. I'm still going to have to go back and give it another listen. I've already listened to it, I think, like 3 or 4 times. It just didn't click as well. That's not taking anything away from the guys. But, we may have seen a story where a band releases their, like, super duper hidden gem best album with one of their first releases, and throughout the rest of their career we're going to be chasing the desire to hear the next Buffalo from them, or something that tops Buffalo. It's going to be hard. Yeah, Unleash the Archers album is very good. I'm going to tell you this. There are a couple folks within our community that love that album. And I have deep respect. I do. I think it's a very, very good release. Did I lose a lot of sperm over it? No, I didn't. Ah, yes. This is the song that I think more than any sold me on this album. To the point where the only album that I had from Winter Sun for a while was Time One. And even after we learned of all of the dark secrets and saw all the like crowdfunding and the this and that, the complaints and the I lost this and there's that and blah 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 whatever, and everybody was talking about the sort of interworkings of the band and how they seemed a little weird. This song alone, whenever I saw a copy of this available, I think it was full price despite the fact it was used. I didn't care. I got it. I had to buy it. You know, I needed it. I needed it, man. Do I like Chinese food? You better believe it, man. Chinese buffets are the best. Especially if you find one that actually has really, really memorable sushi to go along with it. Like, because I have had, like, sushi that was prepared by a licensed, chef that was from China. It was from the Far East. And, came to America for some stupid ass reason. I don't know why you do that. Just to provide us with sushi at a, gourmet rate. But it was damn good sushi. But if you can find it just like a cheap buffet that also gives you serviceable sushi, then dude, love it. Love it. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. And crack another one. The new AAI. Small Yacht Club? Yeah. Yeah, we talked about them in, I think it was 16? No, 17. I need to remember the album name now. Did they release something new this year? They probably did, and I probably missed it. No, they didn't. Yeah, we talked about The Sea back in 2018. I think I went back and retrospectively looked at The Sun, but I don't think I ever reviewed it or mentioned it. Good pair of albums. And wow, not only good pair of albums, but look at those numbers. Those numbers are impressive. 10 tracks, all with 6-figure totals over there on Spotify for play counts. On a band that I relatively didn't think had that much momentum going behind them. That's pretty wild. That's pretty wild. I don't care if it's Japanese or Chinese. It's good stuff. I mean, when you were at the new AAI, I'm roughing out here, man. You're gonna have to help me out with that acronym, because I feel like I'm gonna feel really, really dumb whenever you tell me what it is. I feel like it's a band that I don't utilize that acronym for. I did just recently get an August Burns Red album, though, by the way. Oh! I didn't do that. Now, a couple of them are still in my car. But I got 10 discs last week. I have 9 more coming. That's why I was asking about the Facebook groups or the Facebook Marketplace and Discogs and the like, because I've just made a couple of orders. I made a couple of good orders. 10 most interesting albums based on literature or folklore. An Abstract Illusion. Oh, god damn it. Yeah, they are up there with Naxatraz, you're right. Yeah, there's one of the two. That's good. I like that one, Maru. Because recently, it's not necessarily actual folklore. It's not actual folklore, but I just realized that one of Cataclysm, they released a death metal album a couple years ago. It's based there's a track on there completely based off of the lore of Majora's Mask, and I was just like, how was this not obvious when I listened to it? Yeah, there's a lot out there. There's a ton out there. Like basically, you have Blind Guardian's discography. That could be like one, considering that is very Tolkien-esque. But then they've also sort of done their own thing. But again, these aren't all of them. In fact, actually, it's pretty close to all of them now that I think about it. Which one am I missing? I'm missing one. What am I missing? Oh, I know exactly what I'm missing. Not featured here is an album that may be based off of the knowledge that I like the Crystal Method. You'd be surprised to learn I never owned a physical copy of, which is Prodigy's The Fat of the Land. I actually never owned a copy of that. By the way, each of the CDs you're about to see I got for $2 a piece. Which for the Prodigy album is probably about what they resell for used these days. But this one the guy apparently got for $10 from Walmart. Never opened or bought it. Hosier. I love this album. I don't care if it's pop or not. He's got a hell of a voice. The follow-up to this was not that good. But this album is terrific. I absolutely love this disc. We played this in the store a ton. A review of my favorite black metal album? No, I have to decide which is my favorite album. Well, I can already list that for you right now, Mr. Man. Mr. Meatman. So we have Emperor Prometheus. I could spell. The Discipline of Fire and Demise. Album review. Yeah, that's my top. I love that album. That album's amazing. I can talk to you about so much with that album. How sad I am that Emperor are no more. True, yeah. That's true, with the interest. Now, here's the funny thing. Like, have you ever seen anything that involves the Sumerian? Like, anytime you ever see the word Sumerian in a song title or anything like that, did you know that there is a good chance that they are talking about the Conan the Barbarian universe? I didn't know this. I was yesterday years old whenever that thought, got relegated to my head. I did not know that whatsoever. I thought that was just something that stupid me did not know about. And it was something that stupid me didn't know about, but I didn't realize it was something like that, as opposed to being like a legitimate, non-fiction, real era of life. No, it has to do with the Conan the Barbarian universe, which is pretty cool. Anyway, just listen to this. I just listened to this today. Not for the first time, obviously. The Apostasy by Behemoth. Got this for $2 from a dude. Actually, I think this one was one of his for $5, but who's counting? Weirdly enough, don't own a lot of Behemoth in my discography, so those of you who are taking notes at home and want to send me presents, send Behemoth albums. Really, really limited on that one, on that front. By the way, Death and the Healing, so sexy, but Starchild also, exceptionally sexy. Two of, I think, the best songs on the album, back to back. Battle Against Time also being a very, very good track. Sleeping Stars is excellent. The whole album's good. There's a reason why the self-titled Winter Sun album has the reputation that it does. We have the self-titled album from Amen for $2. Now, this might not be one where you think immediately, that's a CKN album. He would want that. Story Time. Back whenever I was in college, in fact, I was a freshman in college. It was my first year of college. They don't really call it a college freshman, as far as I know, or if they do, it's kind of dumb. This is when I just tried just for the fuck of it. And then apparently threw for no reason. Holy shit. Huh! Wow. Oh, if that survived, I'll be surprised. Not a scratch on it, are you kidding me? This thing is built out of freaking something. I don't know. Anyway, that's what it gets for this album cover there, where the people in this album cover look a little young. I'm not alright with that, but hey, it's a good album. Down Human's a great song. Meet one, the videos that you've funded thus far on the list. I will run through them for you right now. We have the top, that's Evil Toad, that's not Meet Mun, I am stupid. The Long Road Home by Iapetus, album review of that. Album reviews of Deer Hunter Act 1, Act 2, Act 3, Act 4, The Color Spectrum, and Migrant. So those are 6 videos right there. Rank 'em All, The Deer Hunter is the 7th one. Atonement is Nigh by An Abstract Illusion. Album review of that. Pardon. Blind the Huntsman's White Eyes album review. Empire Bathtub's Looney Moons album review. Nazarene the March to Hell album review. You won one of the chat polls with Dream Theater, The Astonishing's album review. And that's the extent of them. That's the lot. That is it. Best Triptychon track or album, Aurore. Either that or Boleskine House. Those 2 tracks are amazing. Though I did get a chance to hear the Prolonging live, which was actually really moody. It was really cool. Though on the album itself, it's a prolonging, all right. They aren't lying. The Apostasy is memorable, but in kind of all the wrong ways. It's kind of like lumped in with a decent era, but is very forgettable. Like whenever I was doing their Rank 'em All, whenever I did that Rank 'em All video for Behemoth, I completely forgot that the Apostasy even existed. I completely forgot about that. There was something else I wanted to look at real quick. Oh, that. I wanted to get that. Unfortunately, the timeout function on desktop PayPal is also poopy. It's also shit. You don't get any sort of real time. Anyhow. 5 Finger Death Punch, honest thoughts, blah. Early stuff is passable. The most recent, anything from the past decade is, in my opinion at least, really forgettable. Really bad. Very generic. Really the definition of radio metal. But usually radio metal tends to be a bit more of a good representation of the genre. Whereas, in this capacity, Shinedown is a better representation of radio metal than 5 Finger Death Punch. Asking Alexandria is. There was a couple of tracks from All That Remains that I heard on the radio that probably did a better job. Favorite Melodeath album is either Slaughter the Soul by At the Gates or Heartwork by Carcass. Though I will say the Jester Race from In Flames also right up there. A lot of my favorites are old school. I know that there's still Melodeath out there today. They're kind of becoming like spotting a Yeti whenever it comes to finding really good ones, which is somewhat sad. It's a good genre, but I think that it sort of had its heyday and now is sort of dormant, and what it's waiting for are a slew of good bands to lead a revival. And there's a lot of bands out there that I think are trying to do that with names and faces that are impossible to remember. But it's even getting some kind of weakened representation from its classic bands because, one of those, one of the post-reunion At the Gates albums was really lackluster. In Flames is a shadow of their former selves. Dark Tranquility is still very solid. We have new stuff coming from Carcass, which sounds very, very good. Surgical Steel was incredible. But it's really sometimes very hard to lump them in with... it's really, really difficult to lump them in with some of that mellow death stuff, despite the fact that's exactly what they have. Michael and Michael are working on some music. Hi, Christian. How you doing? Yeah, Just Erase is really good, man. That's an album that... I also can't discount Oracle. Oracle's awesome. You know what I mean? But anyway, to keep going with these CDs, here's the August Burns Red album. I got Thrill Seeker. I saw this in the guy's list, like in his collection, for $2, and I thought, you know what? I really... I've never been disappointed by an August Burns Red song that I've ever heard. I might as well start the collection, because I own none of them. So again, if you want to buy me presents, and send them to me, there you go. There's another thing. So I just picked this up. For $2, couldn't go wrong. It's a good, decent release. Older release by the band. Mixed by Adam from, Adam Derkowitz, who's got tons of credits in the sort of metalcore department behind him. You know what I mean? So, hey, I like it. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed listening to it. I forget if I ever owned this or not. I think my friend, I think my brother used to own this. Not blood, but you know what I mean. My best friend, my brother, guy I've known since, 95, 25 years. I think he had this one. But the second Periphery album, this one has Have a Blast, Facepalm Mute, Gods Must Be Crazy, Make Total Destroy, etc. Frog and Bullfish. Again, this one was a little more perplexing for me, I remember, whenever I reviewed it. I liked their first album a little bit more. But still, it's really nice to finally have this. I recently sold the Juggernaut Alpha and Juggernaut Omega albums. And kind of grew a little bit regretful of that, I did that big CD sale a couple years ago to make room and, actually to fund a couple of things and sort of keep myself going during that time. I do have a little bit of seller's regret, but at the same time, I'm finding some of this stuff for next to nothing. So I have no sort of there's no real regret. But I'm glad to finally own this. Just listen to that this past week. Some catalog Marduk, Le Grand Danse Macabre. Bam, right there. This was from 2001, I believe. So this is right prior to ROM 612, which I believe is it, ROM 612. It's a Bible quote, which I actually own, which is amazing that I can't remember what the actual verse is. I own the album. I needed to own the album because a couple of my favorite Marduk songs are on that album. This is one I actually haven't listened to yet. I have not listened to this one. This needs to be transitioned into my vehicle, as that's where I listen to these CDs. I don't have a CD player in this room. How big is my Dio collection? I have Holy Diver and Best of Rainbow. It's not very big. If you want to buy me presents and send me Dio albums, go right ahead. Oh, Magica. Forgot about Magica. Oh, I think I sold that. I forget. If I'm being honest with you. Oh, you know what? There's another one. I must have gotten 11 because there is a I'm trying to think of who it is now. Uh-oh. Senior moment. Ah, God, I'm old. There's another black metal release. I'm trying to remember what it was now. Fuck! Anyway. Aren't You Dead Yet by Carnal Forge. Cool album cover where the middle portion there, you know, it looks like it's a cutout CD, but it's not. Actually is the bullet through the skull, through the brain. The album itself, this is probably one of Carnal Forge's better albums. I recently listened through their discography earlier this year, and, you know, they're decent. I think I liked them more whenever I was younger, especially whenever I was, like, getting into college and stuff like that, but aside from that, you know, I don't want to call them forgettable. But they're not necessarily the first band that you think of. I think any of them Amon Amarth releases will be on Maru's vid suggestion. Are you speaking about the interesting albums based off of literature or folklore? I don't know. I actually do not know. I'd have to look into that and see. You know, they're not a very, you know, again, like I said, with the Carnal Forge, I don't want to call them forgettable, but some of their material does get a little samey. They released a lot of stuff during a very short period of time. So listening to all of it sort of back to back, maybe that's where I got sort of that justification from. They seem like a band where mainlining a bunch of it all at once is not the best idea. You know what I mean? But I do really like that album. Whenever I saw that, I immediately knew that I had to have it. But we also have Ascendancy from Trivium, one of my favorite Trivium discs. Really a big fan of this album, older album. Some of the first Trivium songs that I remember hearing and recognizing as Trivium songs come from this disc right here. That was all the way back whenever I worked at a Spencer Gifts, right out of college. So that really tells you the age of not only this album, but also of me. This was dropped all the way back in 2005. So this is 15 years old this year. This is 15 years old this year. I have two piles going on here. One of them need to be filed on Sweet Charlotte. The others are going into my car with my next haul to go out there for my next cycle. But and then finally we have The Scattering of Ashes by Into Eternity from 2006. Back on my birthday, whenever I went down to one of the few used record stores that are still left, I found two of Into Eternity's albums there, and then happened upon this within this collection, and I thought, you know what? Sure. These are the three albums between this, Buried into Oblivion, and their first. Those three discs were the ones that I was really big in whenever they first came out. I was following this band relatively close at the time. So it's nice to actually own all three of them in my collection. I'm actually surprised and have been surprised. So whenever I bought those first two home, I thought for sure I was going to look at my collection in its disorganized mess that it was, and I was going to find a copy of each of those first two. Nope, sure didn't. So it's nice to finally own a physical copy of all of those. Of course, the funny thing is I did all this organization for Sweet Charlotte, and it's all just, you know, to try to put each shelf in alphabetical order to make the actual alphabetization process a lot easier, because I'm going to hopefully very soon be giving Sweet Charlotte a little bit of cosmetic surgery to allow for some additional storage. I'm pretty excited about that. Hype for the new Serpent Column material. I I think I missed that album last year. So I'll have to go back and listen to that to determine whether or not I'm hype. It's another album to listen to, so that's cool. I'm down for that, you know. I like new stuff to listen to. Even if you previously had recommended that to me, I apologize for not getting a chance to listen to the whole thing, or if I told you that I had, then maybe I had. You know, the only way that I could tell y'all exactly what all I've listened to would be if I cataloged my listening habits every single day. And, you know, I do have Last FM that can help with that, but it isn't perfect, and neither's my brain. My brain be dumb sometimes. But you know what? Yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and say yeah. I'm going to go ahead and say yes, because you're hyped for it, which means it's something I should probably be hyped for. It means it's something I should check out and look into. So yes, Mozo Kaiser, I am hyped. I am hyped to listen to that. I hope it's good. I hope it is good. Hey, we're on our final cut here from Winter Sun. This is Sadness and Hate. After this, we have a pair of new Most Principalist songs, and then we will have no cue. We will have no cue, which means we will be wide open in about 10 minutes or so. And we're going to be going for probably another hour or so. So if you drop a donation, make sure you give us a song to play to go along with it. And of course, if you donate $5 or more, you have the secondary option, secondary ability, to offer a video suggestion as part of Viewer Videomania. And if there's nothing like that, we'll probably just get into listening to some more stuff that was released today. Drop a couple things and see what we got. We have an ahem from Meatmun. Ruh-roh. Stay logged in. I apparently have missed something. Oh dear. Why do people not tell me things? AKA... this other thing, this, what the hell, what's happening here? Ahem. I mentioned both of the Morse Principum. Oh, yes. But, of course. Would we have enough time for that? Oh, God. I kind of hope we don't. I kind of hope we don't. Aha! I also know what you mean. We have $13 from Maru, which still has not come out on the desktop version. God damn it! Arrgh! Frustration. Anyway. She states, within the confines of this, did somebody mention Melodeath? Slow fall under this corroded sky, and wolves toward nothing. We will indeed get to those after Morse Principal Mist. Very good. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Oh God, I beg my pardon and yours. That was gross. Had a couple of chicken sandwiches for lunch. So we do have a couple tracks coming in there. I do appreciate that. Meatman with the ahem still has me a little perplexed and curious and not sure what the heck is going on here. If there is something else that is coming through that is a bit tardy to the party, then... Ooh, I can refer a friend and earn $10. Any of y'all want, any of y'all want referred to PayPal? Come on now. I have a feeling most of you are already using the service. That's probably the challenge, why they feel like they can offer this deal. Everyone's already using it, so good luck finding somebody that doesn't use it. Oh, band's name is Two Wolves. Oh, okay. No, I thought that you had maybe just dropped the number 2 twice by mistake. That is completely and totally on me. Porky Pig with the $2 saying an electric wizard with Funeropolis. Funeropolis by Electric Wizard Aid. There you go. Get that in there as well. If you're looking for an idea or unsure what you want to play, maybe look into something that you've enjoyed from this week. And there is something else that's coming through. Good freaking Jesus. Why is everything being so slow and dumb? I don't know. Do you know? Nope, I don't. Well, neither do I. Good talk. Hey, we have to change that again. Now to 47. Because Meat Mun has dropped himself a dime. He has indeed. 25 from Meat Mun wants to hear Into the Painted Gray and the Melancholy Spirit. We can do that. Thank you very much. We have gotten that added in. And, of course, this duly means that Mario and Meat Mun are basically like single-handedly giving all of you what you want. Or getting all of you the chance for what you want. So whenever these videos come out, do not thank me, you thank them. In a big way. You give them your love. You give them love, you give them adoration, you shower them with gifts, you babysit their kids if they have any, you polish their motorcycle, you do whatever mommy and daddy tell you to do. You do whatever mommy and daddy ask you to do for like 2 years. Pardon me. But following these are the end here of Sadness and Hate, which has about 15 seconds left. We'll be getting into some Morse Principum Est, listening to Lost in a Starless Aeon and A Day for Redemption, preceding the new album that's going to be coming out here soon, I believe in October. Oh no. Maru subtly telling everybody that she likes to be called Mommy. That's awkward because I like to be called by my first name. Anyway. But anyhow. So before, so maybe we can attract Waterblanc to come in here if we start talking sports. So who's watching the Stanley Cup playoffs? I know I'm actually not. Whoops. Whoopsie-daisy. What's the, I'm not sure what the series is on that. I don't know what that deal is. I really haven't watched much in the way of sports aside from football and NASCAR over the course of the past week or so, so I know nothing about what's happening in that world, so I am incapable of talking about it. Tampa's leading in the series 2-1. Well, sheet. Sports is too woke for me to watch? Nah. I just see that as words painted on a cord. That doesn't bother me much. Who wants peppermint patty? Who are y'all peppermint patty? You want one? It's chocolate. It's good. Wait. There you go. I'm going to have one. I'm going to have one. Alright, V-Mun, go along. Oh! I'm surprised I didn't knock off my camera doing that. Or does it like look like shit now? Does it look like shit now? No? No? Here, have one. It's delicious. Oh wait, let me open it for you. That's rude. So rude. Open up the tunnel so the train can come through. Boop. Are each of those... Oh, okay, that's 2 pieces. Not that I really care. I'm going to eat what the hell I want anyway, but... Whoa, I'm leaving. See ya. I'm going to become an evil villain. Goodbye, everybody. Oh, hello, everyone. I'm back. Lovely stream we have today. Oh, yes. Don't you know? I'm throwing CDs. I'm throwing candy. I'm tossing out opinions left and right. I'm tossing my brain to people. That's enough. Best part about it, we still have at least. But we still have about an hour and a half left. I'll get some cider. Nice. No, I haven't gotten a chance to see Tenet yet. I've been pretty busy this week, so heading out to the theater was not going to be on the plate for me. But at this point, I might as well just maybe wait for it to come to a streaming service or like a cheap little rental or something. I might have to do that. That's fine. I mean, that's what I have to do. That's cool. I've heard good things. I've also heard it's kind of confusing. It's a little bit of a confusing, hard to follow plot line, which basically to me just screams, oh, so it's a Christopher Nolan film. You know? I like Christopher Nolan a lot. I am on life. That's basically all I'm high on. I'm high on life and music. Yeah, this is a really big, this is a really, really big date. You know, we've had some big days in 2020, back in like April and stuff, but this one just felt massive. I had never seen it be that long. Excuse me. Yeah, probably my voice does sound a little bit off. Kind of have a bit of a scratchy throat going on. That was Lost in a Starless Aeon here is a day for redemption. I also kind of fucked around a little bit with the camera settings. That might be part of it. I know Steve Cash died, the YouTuber. I don't mean to be rude to the deceased, but I don't think I know who Steve Cash is. What did Steve Cash do that was notable? Do tell me more about this Steve Cash. Regardless, rest in peace. Talking kitty cat? What? Talking kitty cat? The kitty cat died? Oh, this is a terrible day. This is a horrible day. Talking kitty cat? Oh my god. One hell of a family. Yeah. Yeah, I had family come in from Florida, which is about 1,000 or so miles away for a couple days. From Tuesday onward till this morning, and I get to see them. Really, this year I got to see them twice, which has been rare. Really, in the last calendar year, from September to September, I've seen them a grand total of 3 times. They were up here last September, before Videomania began last year. In fact, I think we were doing a bid war before that. I forget. But they were in for about a week last year. Then I was down there for a week in February, late February, before COVID hit. And they were up this direction. They were in Indiana, visiting my aunt's family. So before they came home, they decided to swing by over here to PA and see us for a couple days. And they just left this like really early this afternoon to head back down toward Florida. I think they're stopping off to see another friend in Georgia before they get down there. That could also be true, Mario. Yeah, it's been a really nice. It's been a really nice couple of days. The only day that I didn't do much with them was Wednesday because of the chair shopping and everything like that. And once I got all of that done and I got the chair home and installed, I was quite beat up. I was hurting all over, so I just didn't have the energy to go over there and do anything. And they are older. They're younger than my parents, but my uncle's gone through quite a number of health scares over the last couple of years. He was the gentleman that I talked about on the stream before about having MRSA. And then my aunt just recently had to have surgery on her carotid artery. They were worried about a slight blockage there. And she's older than him. She's closer to my parents' age, as far as I remember. So they've had their share of some health issues. And then my parents, actually, my dad, he's going to be having knee surgery next month. So he's down, they're down there in Pittsburgh today getting information about when that's going to happen and what he's going to have to do, sort of the itinerary for the surgery and the recovery process. We're hoping that doesn't run into them going down to Florida next, this coming winter. They'll leave in January or early February, and then I'll probably go down for a week sometime in mid-February as well. Congratulations on getting the worst Panthers defense in history. Oh, God. Oh, my God, dude. After that embarrassment in that play-in round, I don't know why they think that maybe they need to sort of like rebuild a little bit from what they had. Just shift some things around. You still have two amazing players. But I mean, shit, man. I really don't get the need. I didn't really get it, but they apparently think they can do something with it, so let them try, I guess. Let them eat cake. Let them think that they can do it. No point in trying to fight it. A slow fall coming up next with Under This Corroded Sky. Then we're going to Two Wolves with Toward Nothing. Then we have Funeralopolis from Electric Wizard. And then we have a pair of tracks from Meatmun to finish things off, potentially. Into the Painted Gray and the Melancholy Spirit. The Washington team could win the Super Bowl. That's true. It's about as true as me winning the U.S. presidential election. Yeah, the funny thing about Rutherford is that whenever he came in, I mean, there was a lot of promise with all that. Same thing with Mikey. But sort of wasted a lot of good potential. To be fair, the NHL is a difficult place to build a dynasty. So the Pens having that for 2 seasons, winning back-to-back cups in this era is, that's impressive as it stands. I'll give them a lot of credit for that. Because we saw just how easily St. Louis got knocked out. And you see just how much, your regular season points or win total means. You see that almost every year. In fact, with one of the teams that's in the Stanley Cup right now, the Lightning, every single season, they just seemed to be far and away the best team in the league. And then they got into the playoffs, and they were nothing. They were garbo. You're so pissed about the 2016 World Series? Hey, so am I. So am I, dude. So am I. You know, I know it's been 100 years. Cubs fans have been suffering. Yak, yak, schmack, black, whatever the fuck. But those little dirty motherfuckers with their stupid coach, that I think he's gone now. The guy that was formerly with Tampa, with the Rays. His little whiny ass. Whiny bitchy ass. Well, we should be able to do what we want to do, but if they do that to us, well, that's just fucked up. I'm going to get the wah wah wah. I tell you what, it's got to be. If you're an Indians fan, Meat Mun, I lament for you sincerely. I lament with you sincerely, considering twice in my lifetime. Twice! Probably twice in yours as well. Well, no. If I remember your age, no. But twice in my lifetime, you guys have been on the precipice of winning a World Series. And both times you've not gotten the job done. You know, that's... Whenever the Marlins won it in, what was that, 96, I couldn't believe that. I couldn't believe that at all. Especially whenever you take a look at their record the year after. They were terrible. You know, they're both of their World Series are just these, like, weird freak occurrences. It was like viewing the Yeti, or, you know, aliens came down and like that. We found out that the members of the Miami Marlins, formerly Florida Marlins from back then, were actually aliens, like that episode of X-Files. Joe Madden is now the manager of the Angels. Well, we see where they're at. We see where they're at. I hated Joe Madden as manager of the Cubs. I cheered for that man. I cheered for that man whenever he was down there in Tampa. Because I really loved Evan Longoria. I loved him as a player so much, as the sort of like the face of that franchise. But as a member of the Cubs, Madden was unbearable. Anytime he opened his mouth, oh man, I just couldn't deal with it. Hi, Mike. Got into Huntsman thanks to the list. Great band and a great 2020 album, brother. Yeah, man. I listened to that. I forget if that was like something where I saw that on Metal Storm and was like, man, that's a really cool looking cover, or I just, something about it said, give that a try. And I did, and I was really satisfied and glad that I did. I was super glad that I did. That's why I like to try, you know, various other albums aside from names that I know, because first of all, it's the way that a name you don't know turns into a name that you know. You know what I mean? You can always be surprised by something. You might listen to 99 things you don't like, but the one that you do like, you'll damn sure remember. You know, that'll become a band you start to track, and a band that you want to know whenever they have something new coming out. But yeah, man, really, really solid album. Not sure where it's going to end up on this list, because man, oh man, you know, at the end of the year, because this list's getting populated, bro, friend. It's getting tight, getting claustrophobic in list land. But yeah, I'm glad that you were able to scope that out and you really like it as a result of viewing the list, dude. Big time props. I felt that way, Trucker Nation, about Colorado there for a while too. Like, I thought it was destiny that Colorado was going to be in the Cup. Dallas proved themselves to be the Avalanche Slayer, and made it all the way to the Cup as a rookie. That was the thing. Like, back in the 2000s, like in the early Sidney Crosby, Gino era here in Pittsburgh, like there would be a lot of cups that we didn't make it to. Like whenever I was about to leave college, But it always seemed like we got taken out by the team that eventually made it to the Cup from the Eastern Conference, or the team that ended up winning the whole thing. Or at least it was a team that went pretty far. Like whenever we got taken out by Ottawa, I think in what was that, 06-07 season, you know, they went on and did very well. The Indians were called the Grand Rapids Rustlers. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that Series Goal album was decent. I thought that was very decent. That's a comeback. Or they've had a comeback. Because they've been... You know, Series Goal's been around forever. Oh, wait, what the hell? Oh my gosh, I'm not even paying attention. Well, we got exiled today, or part of it, by Slow Fall for free. Whoopsie daisies. Sometimes I get into these modes like, wait, we're not listening to a full album. I get real involved. 2 wolves toward nothing. That's what we got coming up next. Oh, excuse me. Wow, I lost my mind there for a second. Oh, it was a long time, dude. And he comes back and you look at it and you're just, yep. It's not like they didn't miss a step. It was actually, it was kind of like whenever we got the releases of those Hell albums that involved Andy Sneap. Like, we knew that he had the production chops to make the stuff look good and sound good. But the material itself was good. You know, like the material itself was awesome. And that's what made those albums what they were. You want the Stars because you live in Tampa? Does that mean that if they win, the Lightning fans, they'll be like obnoxious? Will they be dancing in the streets and like firing off guns and like considering themselves to be like the servants of the Zeus or something, and like they'll dress up Donald Trump as Zeus or something like that? I know how red Florida is. That's my political humor. It's bad. That's why I don't talk about this stuff that often. I have a friend that she lives here in Southwest Pennsylvania. She's a Dallas Cowboys fan and a Tampa Bay Lightning fan. She's one of those, folks around here, you fall usually into one of two categories. You follow every Pittsburgh team religiously. And these are for the people that follow sports. Like Faith, for example, could care less about sports, so she doesn't give a shit. She's just like, yeah, I know that sport. That's baseball. I'm like, good job. But you're either somebody who follows every Pittsburgh team, religiously, or you don't follow a single Pittsburgh team at all. Like, there's not like, oh, well, I hate the Pirates, but I like the Steelers, and the Penguins, I'm kind of like, I'd rather watch blah. It's either Pens, Pirates, Steelers for life, or, like, I don't know what team she follows in baseball, but if you don't follow the Pirates, you're not necessarily missing much this season. Although they've won their last couple games against Chicago, and I think has really shown the Cubs to be very mortal. Though I don't really feel or didn't really think that the Cubs would have much of a chance to go all the way this year. Something about that team just to me, it just didn't seem very impressive. Maybe that's why I should consider them like a dark horse. It's weird to consider them that with their lineup. Trans DJ dropping the $4, wants to hear Darkest Hour's cover of Judas Priest's Painkiller. That is interesting. That is interesting. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. We'll get that in. It is behind a little bit of stuff, just as a forewarning to you. There are some things that are in front of it. So stick around for a little bit, Trans DJ. I want to make sure you're here whenever you hear your song. But I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Did I do it again? This is the same song, right? Yes, it is. Good. Whew. And you're right, Mar. This is a little more doom-laden. This is definitely a little more doom-laden. I dig it. I dig it. Lakers fans are the worst. You know, I'll tell you something that bugs me. And it's bugged me for a long time. I really don't care about Laker fans right now. You know, because they have been obnoxious for a long time. It's LeBron James fans that for years have kind of just been on my last nerve. Hey, Wobbin, you have yourself a good run. I hope everything is doing well over there, my friend. Thank you for your terrible defensiveman. We will promptly, I don't know, start him in every game and then wonder why he sucks. And it's not so much, it's not LeBron himself. Like, LeBron himself, as a player, I enjoy watching. But I tend to, oh, you're welcome for Hornquist. Enjoy him past his prime. That's all I'll say about that. If you can reawaken that stick, brother, do it. Please do. But anyway, like I don't have a problem with LeBron as a player. I really don't. I enjoy watching him play. But the fan base just, oh my god. I've probably complained about this before, and I'm happy that I don't have to complain about this now because I don't see it as much because of reasons. But there was one bloke that I swear to you, if I knew that he wasn't straight as an arrow, I would have swore that his mouth was permanently affixed to LeBron James's dick. You know, like, now Meat Mundat does irritate me. That's one thing about him. I will forever call him somebody who he sells you. He's like a used car salesman if you live in Cleveland. You know, for Cleveland, he's like a used car salesman. Tells you he's going to be there forever. It's going to be reliable and whatever. The first time that you take it off the road and a wheel pops, you learn that like the whole fucking thing is about to explode. So he leaves. You know, he doesn't answer your calls. He splits. He's in another city under a different name. You know, now he's got a beard and a baseball cap and whatever. Then he comes back and says, "This is my grand homecoming. I'm never leaving ever again." Blah 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 blah. And now, because he was only able to do one championship out of 4 against Golden State, which just being there 4 times in a row, and really for LeBron it was 8 times in a row, is impressive. But he wants a legacy with rings. And Lakers are probably going to get one, unless Miami can play spoiler, which would be the ultimate irony. Considering we can't have the irony of Cleveland beating LA. Miami beating LA would be just as good. I would take that irony. LeBron's kind of a cult of personality whenever it comes to his fan base. We see that more and more these days. We see these cult of personality types. You know, it starts off with something very, very simple. Of course, there was the conversations about whether or not he was better than MJ. And you have that conversation. You know, folks bring in Kobe with that. You know, then they start talking about Bill Russell or Wilt Chamberlain or whatever. You know, they talk about how the eras were different and how this is that. You know, this defended with this. Well, MJ had 6 rings, but how many times did he make it to the finals? Did he make it to the finals in his second year? Blah 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 blah. He needed a big supporting cast. Yakety schmack. You know, oh, Kobe was only there because of Shaquille O'Neal. Bill Russell was from an era where, like, the fast break and the three-pointer didn't exist. Oh, it took Golden State assembled a gigantic army, a big old super team, just to take out LeBron. It's a conspiracy. Oh. And then they don't even recognize the fact that there is a very big, if you can't beat them, join them philosophy. And first of all, the super team philosophy ran through the Miami Heat. Hello. But you can't tell them that. You can't tell them that. Electric Wizard with Funeropolis coming up next. Meatman, are you... Meatman, are you terribly hurt if we were to play Darkest Hours Painkiller cover first? By chance. I called the personality was Huey Lewis. Yeah, it's Living Color. Do you like Huey Lewis in the news? How many rings does LeBron have right now? He has 3. He won 2 with Miami and 1 with Cleveland. Hey, yes, you would be so hurt? Okay, well. It's just a really, really weird conundrum to watch. Because here's something that, to me, isn't or is seldom taken away from these debates. And that's that, what's to say or who's to say why can't we just enjoy the era, appreciate the fact that we are watching, you know, a great player, you know, why are we constantly talking about, oh, well, MJ could kick LeBron's ass in horse, or, you know, can LeBron James hit an 80-mile-per-hour fastball? Well, Michael Jordan barely could, mostly didn't. You know, we're going to compare golf stats. You know, we're going to talk about, oh, well, LeBron's better because he never had a gambling problem. You know, everybody has good aspects, everybody has demons. Everybody's done some bad things, but whenever it comes to the actual play on the court, LeBron is a great player. I don't agree with a lot of his decisions whenever it comes to his teams and things like that. I'm constantly rooting against a lot of those things. Whenever he was up there in Cleveland, I thought Golden State was a great foil for him. I thought that was a hell of a great wrestling rivalry right there. You got 4 Basketball Mania, matchups up of that. Need more water? Yeah, I'm getting dry as a bone, and we're gonna be streaming tomorrow, throat permitting. We're gonna be streaming tomorrow, throat permitting. That's the asterisk that I'm gonna place on there. Doing that mostly for to try to make up for the fact that we haven't had a stream yet this week. Either that, or maybe we just take tomorrow off and we hit it real hard next week. That might actually be a better idea. See what we're gonna do. You know, I'll get up tomorrow, and if you see me press the button to come online, if you get a notification, then you know I have. If not, then well, you know my throat's probably making me talk like. Meanwhile, like, both. Do it all. I have plans. I have evil plans. I have a list in front of me. I have calculated this. Unless you're talking about water and booze, in which case I can't do booze. I haven't drank in years, and, well, medication I take kind of makes it a bit difficult and not wise. Last couple times I did drink, whenever I was on the meds, half a beer in, I had a migraine. It was horrible. Every day is too much. Oh no, you're not being rude at all with that. That's why I try to space it out. A little bit. After viewer Videomania ends the event, which will be around the first weekend of October or so, I probably will take a short little hiatus from streaming, probably about a week or two. I'll be focusing on the videos themselves, or either that, or I might just stream it like one day a week for a little while, maybe two. So the 3-day-a-week schedule is great for the event. Hey, you have a good one too, Christian. Thanks for stopping out. We'll see you next time. I'm still thankful for that Sky Harbor album, man. But, you take care. Yeah, cutting into that anime time, man. What? Oh wait, that didn't even. There was not even the word anime in there. Oh boy, my bad. You can expect the first video around mid-October. I would like for it to be before then, especially since Transitus just came out, and there's a video that has been confirmed that is an album review of it. So I would like for that to be sooner rather than later. But whenever it comes to the others, yes, I would look for stuff to start coming out in October, probably by the middle point of Oct. That would be my guess. Fluff. I have forgotten things again. My brain is a dumb. There it is, darkest hour. My brain is a dumb. Did that cover not hit Spotify yet? I suppose it is not. We'll have to actually go somewhere else. Weird. I figured it would have hit. Funeralopolis by Electric Wizard. Finishing up air. finishing off in the best way possible. Off a dope throne. Classic Doom release. Up next we have Painkiller by Darkest Hour. And yes, it is a cover of the Judas Priest song. Let's see how they did. Since we are over on YouTube with this one, do make sure you let me know how the levels are as far as music is concerned. Warning to all headphone consumers, might be a little loud. You still have 4 Tool albums and 19 Rush albums before you can listen to Transitus. Oh dear Lord, sir. You are going to be busy. Fortunately, whenever it comes to the early Rush releases, they're not overly long. Most of them are, I think, like 40 minutes apiece. How do I not get copyrights? Oh, I do. But none of them are strikes. All of them, they just get claimed by the labels or whatever. So basically, if the streams after they were done would get like 200,000 views, I'd be super pissed because that would be money out of my pocket. But they don't get barely any hits, you know. So it's whatever, they can do what they can do. Oh yeah, Brave Murder Day rules. I love that track. Or I love that album, should I say. Yeah, this is Darkest Hour. What are you watching currently, Meat Mun? Like, what are the big ones that have occupied a lot of your time? Huh. Do any of them have big, gigantic anime titties? Don't answer that question. I don't think I've watched an anime in more than a year now. I think about it. Snap. Oh, you referred to my comment above. I think I must have missed it. I must have missed it. It's good for you, huh? I think someone is outside. Give me just a moment, folks. Never mind. Over at the neighbor's house. It's over at the neighbor's. No updates that I know of whenever it comes to new Tool EP. New Pussifer album coming very soon, though. New Pussifer dropping very, very soon. In fact, they've dropped a couple of singles. Momentarily, hold on. Hello. How you doing? No, I'm streaming at the moment. Hey, you're fine. What's going on? As of right now, it's kind of up in the air. What were you thinking? Okay, 1 o'clock. Alright, let's do it then. I'll pick those up whenever we do the grass tomorrow. And I'll probably get a thing of water too, just do the full sweep. Cool, alright, I'll see you tomorrow then. Yeah, it's great. Counter here says 2 hours, 47 minutes. Half hour or so. Alright, I'll talk with you later, okay? Bye. It could be you outside the door stealing a kitty or two. How good are your lock-picking skills? Miss Maru Cat Burglar. Sponge Maru Cat Burglar Pants. How does this go on for another minute? Like, do I have time to take a pee? I think I have time to take a pee. As a result of that phone call, just to give you guys a little bit of a heads up, as a result of that phone call, we probably will not be streaming tomorrow. We probably will not be streaming tomorrow, which will mean that the next stream will be on Tuesday. As we get into the Painted Grey by Agalok. This is off of Marrow of the Spirit. Oh yeah, I saw that meme on. I was just wondering which specific ones. Yeah, I saw that you were watching like 50. Like, are there a couple specifically that are the ones that you're paying the most attention to, or the ones that you're watching more than the other like 46? That was decent. I don't think that was too bad. I got to do a lot during that. Why would you use doors? We don't have a... There's not like a chimney here that you can come down, so you can't be Santa Claus. Though I will have to, like... Oh, damn. If you know how to... You probably know how to remove a screen cover. Crap. Well, I guess I'm closing my windows forever. Including the one downstairs in my basement. So I'm gonna be doing my laundry in the heat. That's probably what I'll be doing tonight. I'll probably be doing my laundry. The leftover energy that I have left. What do I think the weakest Agalok album is? I'm curious about what Meatman's thoughts are on this, because I was not... Like, I love every one of their studio releases. But The Serpent and the Spear, for me, was the one that I kind of listened to the least frequent. So I guess maybe that would be what I would pick. Although I do really like the album. Second would probably be Marrow of the Spirit, surprisingly enough. Though whenever it dropped, I listened to that a whole heck of a lot more than I did Serpent and the Spear. Part of that, I feel, was semi-victimized by Serpent and the Spear being the like one of two albums that I got to review as CKN. And whenever I reviewed Marrow of the Spirit in 2010... That was before the channel had exploded, and I was doing album reviews all the time. Every single week I was doing multiple videos. I always had to stay current. So I think he got victimized a little bit with my need to consistently keep on going and keep on trucking and not sort of like sit back and appreciate something as much. You know, so it got like the typical 3 to 4 listens before I reviewed something. And then, you know, I go back to the Mantle and Ashes Against the Grain a good bit, and recently I've been going back to Pale Folklore a lot more. But Marrow and Serpent are the two that I think I listen to the least frequently. mostly looking for stuff that you haven't watched yet, even though you have a huge back catalog. Well, man, I know there's a ton out there. Like, it seems like every time I look on a streaming service, there's new stuff. You know, like there's new stuff. Fear Inoculum is kind of a weird one. It's kind of a really, really weird release whenever it comes to the Tool albums of the past. It's like if you started that LSD trip while listening to Tempest or Sevennist or whatever, you would probably experience more of what you were used to from the previous 3 albums with the trip. But considering it was all the way at the end and you had to go through everything else, you kind of had to go through a lot of I don't want to say vanilla sounding Tool songs, but a lot of tracks that had a very similar makeup and markup to them. You know, it got to be kind of a repetitive formula. I was very high on that album whenever it first came out. I was surprised how much I liked it, and I played around and had fun with that review. I enjoyed making that review because of all the little extra subtle touches that were put in just for the fuck of it. But admittedly, here in 2020, I have not gone back and listened to that album very much at all. Yeah, Endless River was an interesting one. I liked that, I think, a little bit more than I thought I would. It was a very comforting lot of music. So, like, if that came out while I was still working at the music store. So, whenever I listened to that while I was working, it was very calming. But again, for personal, like, in-home use, like just me, and, you know, that being in front of me, and that's what I'm listening to, not something that I went to very often. If, you know, I have a copy of it. In fact, at one point I had 2 copies of it. I might still have 2 copies of it for all I know. I don't think I do. I think one of them did get sold. But that's another thing right there, is if I enjoyed it so much and I had acquired a second copy, I would have kept it. One Piece! Oh, man! I started watching part of that. I think I got like 150 episodes in, and then it was just like, you know what? By the time I'm done with this, I'm going to have to like have a kidney transplant, or, you know, by the time I'm done with all of this, I'm going to have aged to the point where, you know, dinosaurs will look at me and aim to give me an AARP discount. So I just stopped. I appreciate the depth of it, the density. Faith's brother actually ran through all of the episodes that were available as of, I think, 2017. And he did that mostly by sitting on a couch and watching nothing but One Piece for months at a time. It was easy for him to do because he didn't work. The only thing he did was, you know, he played some video games from time to time and had his kids on the weekends. So, I mean, he had plenty of time to kill. I had a couple of the DVD series. I think I had like 2 or 3 of them. Because we sold those at the store up to a certain point. And whenever I saw that they were up to like 14 or 15, whenever we were selling them at work, I thought to myself, man, this is pretty long. And I realized, holy crap, like, that's not even scratching the damn surface. Like, that is not even scratching the surface. Because I'm pretty sure the first set was like 30 episodes. Let me take a look here. I want to know if I still have that. I don't think I sold it. didn't find the anime, but I did find a Pippin. Hi, bud. Hi, Pip. Hi. There you go. There you go, bud. Bye-bye. Thanks for stopping over. I don't know where my anime went. That's bad. I had that. I had the full series of Trigun and... Not the full series of Trigun. Did I have the full series of Trigun? I had a DVD of Trigun. And then I had all of Cowboy Bebop. So if those were taken, I know who took them. And they're going to be in trouble. I'm going to fuck them up. I doubt that they were taken there. They're probably... I kind of just tried to look for them real quick, so I'm sure they're somewhere. They got to be around. I don't believe I sold them. That would be silly. That would be very, very silly if I sold those. I didn't have any plans to. That I can remember, of course. I might have. I don't know. I don't know what I did anymore. But yeah, I had like 3 DVDs worth of stuff. And I think I had 2 for One Piece. My original plan was that I was going to watch through what I had, and then I was going to buy the next one. And if I would have kept up with that, I wouldn't have made it through like the first 250 episodes. But yeah, I don't think I've watched a legitimate anime, like an episode of an anime. And man, it's been a long time. It has been a really, really long time since I have watched an episode of an anime. I might have to rectify that in the near future. Maybe relaxing tomorrow, I'll go back and watch some Rurouni Kenshin. I was a big fan of Kenshin. I love that series. That series is awesome. But yeah, man, I was watching One Piece. I like Bebop, and I was also watching another one, Bleach. I watched some of Bleach and really liked that. I've watched The Devil Was a Part-Timer and a couple of the other like one season series things and all that, but I had a coworker whenever I worked at the store, and really, if I want to be honest, it's more like 2 of them. Anime, I don't want to say was their lives, but they were quite big fans of the anime. They were really big anime fans. Like, they went to conventions. One of them did a lot of artwork for conventions and things like that. Sold at tables, had the actual, like, places where she could sell her wares and do things like that. Here's the Melancholy Spirit, BT dubs, from Pale Folklore. Hold on a second. Wait a minute. I don't think I use a remastered, do I? No, I don't. Uh-oh. Oh, come here. Looky Blaze. Looky, Blazy. It's Peoples. It's Peoples in the stream. Mario's there. Uh-oh, what's the matter? Why do you want down? Why do you want down? You want to see people? You want to hang out with me? You don't want to hang out with me? Why not? Why not? People love you. People love you, Blazy. Oh, be careful. Be careful, you silly. Be careful, you silly. I'm going to get you again. I'm going to get you again. I'm getting you again. I'm getting you again because I love you. I'm getting you again because I love you. Listen, you purring. You're purring so much. Uh-oh. Now she wants to go down again. Get down again. Oh, there this is. She's being sassy. She's being sassy. She wants me to touch her, but she doesn't want me to pick her up. She just wants to rub against me. She's purring like nuts. She's a kook. She's a kook. She's a kook and she's my kook. She's my shadow and I love her. I'm gonna get you again. Third time's a charm, right? I got you again. I got you again. I got you again. I got you again, babe. You wanna say hello to people? Wanna say hi? Wanna say hi, Maru? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Careful. Careful. Oh, what, you would just want to be like a gargoyle. You want to be like a gargoyle that's perched up on my leg. There you go. There we go. The daily dose of Blazy. Last night she was playing with toys that typically were associated with other kitties. And that was the wildest thing I saw. She was back to her old crazy Blazy days. It was great. This is probably going to be our final track for stream today, unless anybody has anything else they want to sneak in before we depart. Like I said, our next stream will probably be not tomorrow, but Tuesday. Unless I feel really inclined to sneak on for a bit tomorrow. If I were to stream it all tomorrow, it would be exceptionally short and very, very chilled, relaxed. It probably would not have a lot of promotion towards stuff or blah, blah, blah. Let's take a look real quick at where we're at. 36 videos in total funded. Let's get this camera on you. You're a star. I'm not a star, you're a star. You're a star. Everyone loves you. People just like me. They met you and fell in love. Still do have a couple more polls. A couple folks do still need to secure some. Hey, I need that. Couple more folks do need to secure some of their ideas. No cords, silly. No cords, silly. There she goes. So, this coming week will probably be, I'm thinking, probably will not quite be the end of Viewer Videomania. I'm thinking that Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, that'll be the dates. And then we will maybe consider Saturday as the end of the event, which means that we will have overtime the following Tuesday or Thursday. I think we're going to run it somewhat like that. Finish things up. And then we will shrink down the stream schedule a little bit. Instead of being the attempted 3 days a week, it'll go down to maybe 1 or 2. I'm sure we'll try to roll with something for those events, for those dates. You know, it might even be something. I've been sort of toying around the idea of the element of Viewer Videomania maintaining itself as a feature. You know, like a donation goal or whatever. But that's just the thought. I think what we're going to be handling and what we're going to be thinking about next whenever we get through with Viewer Videomania is we were talking about that massive playlist. We were talking about the 100,000 tons of metal. And then we sort of stopped talking about it for a while. We'll probably get really heavy into doing stuff like that and talking about that, you know, doing maintenance with it if necessary, making sure everybody has the ability to make their contributions for it, help out. We'll focus on that heavily once we get into October, as well as getting the videos complete, up and running. Maybe we'll do a couple of live recordings for some of those videos. I really kind of like that idea a lot, as I've enjoyed doing that in the past. Lulu better be on the playlist. That's going to be one that's built by myself and a lot of you guys, because we have different sections, you know, different, excuse me, like we have 13 different categories right now. You know, it could still be revised, but right now the categories that have been proposed are thrash metal, black metal, death metal, power metal, classic metal / new wave of British heavy metal, which in many cases are going to be the same thing, progressive / avant-garde metal, post metal / black gaze, groove, metalcore and deathcore, sludge, doom and stoner metal, gothic, dark and industrial metal. Hybrid metal is the one that I'm thinking, I mean, that's going to be an interesting one. Folk metal, and then new metal, radio metal / fringe line metal. Those are the 13 categories thus far. Lulu is definitely deathcore. Lulu is definitely a thing. If anybody puts that on that avant-garde playlist, I will I'll smack the shit out of them. I'll smack the shit out of them. Favorite album cover artwork. I don't have one explicit favorite, mainly because I like ones that are simple and have sort of like it's very poignant because of that, but I also like ones that are sort of super complex. So for example, like the Mantle by Agalok is very, very simple and it works. Same thing with Ashes Against the Grain. The two covers for Model of the Wells, Bath, and Leaving Your Body Map directly relate to one another, which is really, really cool. Then you get into all the intricate things that you get off of a lot of like death metal releases. You take a look at like ones from Blood Incantation or Carnabog or even Cataclysm. They are very, very intricate. They have a lot of imagination. They're obviously referring to otherworldly universes, be it H.P. Lovecraft or others. Oh, wait a minute. I don't think... Is Doom not on there? I don't think... Oh, no, it is. Sludge / Doom / Stoner. Okay. Whew. Whew. Yeah, fringe metal is... I call it fringe line metal. That would be your Shinedowns. It goes hand in hand with radio metal. It's just that I don't know how many folks understand or I don't know what they call it. You know what I mean? Like, I know folks have meme names for it, like cringe metal or butt rock or blah blah blah. But it's not all new metal. You know, I like to call it radio metal. Like Five Finger Death Punch would actually, could actually go on that playlist. And here's the thing, I mean, there are things that we will have to put on those playlists that you might not necessarily like, especially on that one, but it totally works. You know what I mean? How about Torch the Faith instead of Lulu, since Lulu has already been played on a stream? Oh, this would be for a playlist not to be played on. Oh man, if we played all 100,000 songs, we'd have to stream every day for like 2 years, 24/7, 365. Like, it would take a while. It would take a little bit of time, to say the least. Some of the worst artwork covers that spring to mind. Anything that had Gene Simmons' face on. No, I'm kidding. A couple Scorpions albums had some really questionable things. I feel like there was one in the 90s from a band I actually like. And I cannot, for the life of me, picture it in my brain right now. See, I don't think about this stuff very often, if I'm being real. I don't think about it a lot. Dance of Death actually is a really, really good answer. I kind of like it, but at the same time, it also looks super duper bad for 2005. Like, whoever did that, like, attempted CGI job or whatever, I'll tell you what it reminds me of. And I feel safe with this call out. I really do. But whenever I first got started in 2011, started to get big. Here's one thing that happens whenever you get attention. You have folks that want to do things, for you, which I appreciate that. It's nice. And one of the things back in the day for YouTube that you wanted to do is you wanted to have a nice YouTube channel banner. And, you wanted to have something in the background, blah, blah, blah. The interface was much different back in 2011. A lot of you who are long-time YouTube users probably remember it. How many people right now, how many of you actually go to a channel page these days, as an example? I can tell you that unless I'm looking, all the channel pages that I visit now are all channels I'm already subscribed to. And it's basically whenever I want to watch something from that channel, but I don't know what, so I want to go look through their playlists and videos. Aside from that, I don't use the feature whatsoever. But I remember I was thinking about what I wanted for a channel banner and a background and a sidebar. And somebody said, "Hey, I'm going to make something for you." I was like, "Okay, that's great. That's really, really nice. It's really nice of you. I appreciate it." And then I saw it. And whenever you get like a really, really shitty birthday gift or like a shitty Christmas gift, and the person that we're going to play some stuff in the background while I talk about this. And the person that gave you the gift, they're looking at you. They're so happy. They are waiting for your face to just beam with light, and you have to kind of fake it because you look at it and you're like, the thought was nice. But, yeah. That was, whenever I saw it, I thought to myself, oh boy, nothing screams legit like this shit. Notice sarcasm. It looked really, really bad. I never used it as far as I know, or if I did, I used it for a very, very short period of time just to satisfy the condition. I was under no real obligation, but somebody does something nice for you, especially whenever before that, you're not used to folks saying, "Hey, I want to do this for you," or you don't want to hurt somebody's feelings. It's not very nice. It's not right. But sometimes whenever you have a business, which is what it was sort of turning into, an unpaid business, but one that was getting a lot of attention, you do have to sometimes be kind of a jerk. It's always really hard to be in that position too, because you don't want to be mean because you think, oh man, this person that really, really likes the content, the channel, and what you're doing and everything, if you tell them, hey, thanks, but no thanks, what are they going to think? Are they going to think, oh man, well, that guy's just a big old fucking jerk. That guy's a dick. So it kind of puts you in a really, really weird position. It's almost better off in those situations to go with somebody who's kind of on the outside, looking in. Somebody who can handle it purely as a business transaction instead of it being something just fan-made. But at the same time, you like things that are fan-made. There are pictures and different things that, very few of them, mind you. There's not many. But there have been a couple that I've gotten over the years on like Twitter and things like that I've been, I love. I think those are super cool things. I used to use a couple of them on stream and stuff like that. How about people getting offended by an opinion? That much I don't really mind, because if it's within the confines of a video, the video is my opinion, they're allowed to have theirs. You know what I mean? Like, all dependent of, there are folks that disagree with me every single day on things that I've posted in a video. That's fine, that's whatever. If they walk away because of that, that's their choice. Hi, Serbian Hammer, how you doing? There's a story of Dave Pratchett of Cathedral fame having done the background and Eddie for DOD's cover art, and then some random kid off Maiden's official forum hired to do the rest. Oi. Oi, oi. Was that like some sort of contest, maybe? That screams like 8 or 9 year old CGI album cover contest. Because man, if I was in Iron Maiden, you know what? If I was in Iron Maiden, I probably wouldn't give a shit. I probably wouldn't give a shit. An album cover, for me, it's important, but it's not the critical component of the piece that you're getting. Christmas. The important part about what you have. Yes, I did. It was very, very good, Serbian Hammer. Thank you. But the important part about that package is the music that's in there. If if you heard the album I'll propose this situation. If you went to Spotify or YouTube or Bandcamp or whatever, and you listened to the music and you thought it sucked, and you thought it sucked really, really bad, it sucked raw eggs, but you really, really liked the album cover. Like, you really liked the album cover. You thought that album cover was super good. Would you still buy the album? Would you still buy the album just because of the art on the cover, knowing full well that you disliked the music that you heard underneath? You know what I mean? When will you say it's gone for good? What do you mean? Every time I die is good. I'm still not totally sure what you mean. Yeah, every time I die is really good. Depends how finances work. Okay, that's fair. That's fair. A good album cover will get me to listen to something. You know what I mean? Like, if I have no idea of what something sounds like, come on, Christmas. You want to come up? You can come up. You want to come up? Come on up. Like, I used to go to record stores, and if I saw something that had a really, really good cover that I loved, I didn't even listen to the samples of the music. I just bought it. But I'm talking in the inverse situation. If I have heard the music and I know it sucks and I don't like it, I don't know if I'd buy it just because that cover looks badass. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a harder sell for me. See you later, Trans DJ. Thanks for stopping out. Yeah, like Robin, you're talking about that in a really good in a good context, where if the music therein is awesome but the album cover stinks, then whatever. You know, that's not a big deal. And that's not a big deal at all. But if it's the opposite, where you know the music is not for you, but you really, really like the album cover, you're probably not going to buy an album just for the cover, knowing you don't like the music. Hi, Nazrin. We're wrapping up here in a little bit. Having a pretty interesting discussion, though, about the power of album covers, especially whenever we consider Dance of Death from Iron Maiden. That covers, whew. That one's really hard to look at sometimes. Think about the back. Have you seen the back of it? Well, hold on. Let me give Sweet Charlotte a little loving over here. Where are you at, babes? There you are. Well, actually, on my copy, that back is just the band. On my copy, the back is just the band, but this guy right here in particular, he's unsettling. Like, he's downright unsettling, isn't he? Look at that. This is the cover we're talking about. And the remastered copy, like, there are other versions of this cover around that are on like remasters or other editions of this disc, and it doesn't make it much better. It does not make it much better. Like, the concept itself is cool. The concept itself is super cool. The execution of that concept, however, was bad. You know, whether it was unfinished or not. Even if this were finished, I submit that it probably still would go down as the worst Iron Maiden album cover. You know? And no offense to the artist on that. It's a great concept, but execution-wise, it was going to be difficult to pull off. They're trying to do a POV perspective. You know, so you have folks that are close. You have folks that are far away. You know, it's trying to utilize perspective in order to make the person holding the album feel like it's through their eyes. You know, artistically very ambitious, but it was going to be difficult to do, especially in that style. That one was almost one that needed like hand-drawn or, you know, it almost had to be hand-drawn or not using that that style of creation. You know, what would you call that? Would you call that CGI? Not really. It's a still image, but yeah. Yeah. Just about any version of that does not age, or does not appear like it is going to ever age, aside from like sour milk. Oh yeah, I've seen Sailing to Philadelphia. I used to sell that. I used to sell a couple copies of that disc like every month or so. I guess it would be CGI, so yeah, that does work, but oh boy, it's not good. I remember laughing at it whenever I first got it. But then also, like, my best friend and I both like ardently defended it because we were Maiden fans. We were Maiden fans among a lot of classic rock fans that didn't really understand the far reaches of the metal universe. So, it is what it was. Plus, it was Iron Maiden. Fight people. I'll fight you. But yeah, it's bad. Like Virtual Elevens is very basic. Like, it's not very intricate, and of course a lot of the former Maiden album covers were very intricate. You know, you had like a lot of subtle references within what you saw, or the way Eddie was presented was really cool and unique. You know, so Virtual Eleven was not all of that intricate, but by comparison to Dance to Death, it looks like a masterpiece. You know, Brave New World, you basically are just ripping off the concept of the actual book. You know, the utopia of the Brave New World with Eddie in the sky as a harbinger of things to come. You know, A Matter of Life and Death was essentially just a battle scene, you know, a war scene, you know, with tanks and the like. X Factor wasn't, you know, the thing I will say is that they did try things. You know, they attempted different things, but it's hard to defend Dance of Death at all these days, at all, you know. Oh, Seventh Son. Seventh Son is one of those albums where the simplicity of that cover, of it just being the severed Eddie, that is what makes it work so very, very well, because it was very different from what we were seeing with the previous ones, where we were seeing a full-bodied Eddie in most of those cases. The only one where there was an exception to that was Power Slave. So to see like a disembodied or like a severed Eddie like that was new and different, and it's that alone told more about the character. You know, he does not have to be complete in order to live. He transcends all. And plus the album itself is incredible. That's still my favorite Maiden disc. Not necessarily the one I listen to the most. You know, Maiden is one of those rare cases where there are albums that I will listen to more than Seventh Son, but Seventh Son is my clear-cut favorite. You know, you got some really neat intricacies with some Sabotage albums, too. I always considered Power Slave as more of a showcase of his power. You know, having him worshipped as a god. You know, which increased sort of his showcase. Like Somewhere in Time shows that Eddie has been throughout time and throughout recorded history. Power Slave shows that he was within the Egyptians and was worshipped as a god. You know, like if you wanted to do a lore of Eddie, he's essentially all things and no thing. It's great. You know, you could put him in any situation. You know, simple allegory for the Reaper without actually using the Reaper. Eddie's just Eddie. Yeah, that's all you really need. Yeah, it is kind of a prog nerd album, I will admit, but it's just a really great release. It's just such a great release to listen to. It's so easy to listen to it. And unlike The Angel and the Gambler, whenever they repeat Seventh Son of the Seventh Son over and over again on the title track, it doesn't get irritating. You don't eventually want to shut the song off. Like, you just want to keep it going. You know? Yeah, Moza Kaiser, I think that was just, like, part of that was a little bit of a marketing thing. I'm sure that there has been a lot of information and a lot of folks in the ears of those designing artwork in order to try to make not just the album marketable, but also to make the tour marketable. Whether it comes to the name of the tour, the type of merch that's sold, on the t-shirts and the like. It's all, you know, it's a very intricate business from what I've been told. Oh, Emperor have fantastic album artworks. Like, the one for Prometheus is the least detailed, but at the same time has the most going for it. And that title, though, Prometheus, the Discipline of Fire and Demise. Is Nostradamus the worst Priest album? I don't think so. Is it? You tell me. I think it's pretty good. It does suffer from being a bit long. It's a double album. And that is an overlong release. That's the biggest thing it has going. Like, Priest is a band that I don't think does double albums for a reason. They tried to do it, it didn't work. You want a good double album, you check out the Book of Souls. You want a challenging double album, you listen to Nostradamus. But it is still, it's still serviceable. It's still very serviceable, but trying to get through it is a challenge. You see someone calling Nostradamus the worst album in metal history? No. Nowhere close. I mean, come on now. Come on now. That's going quite far. And, no. But anyway, folks, that's going to wrap it up. That's going to be all for me for today. It's going to be all for us for the week. Unless I sneak on for a little time tomorrow. What, Firepower? Firepower's good. Firepower's a really good album, actually. Anyway, yeah, unless I sneak on tomorrow, I'm probably not going to be on until Tuesday. Take the weekend to rest up a little bit and heal up a little bit. Considering I've heard a good bit ever since I fell out of this chair. Well, this old chair. You guys have a great weekend. You have a great time. Enjoy all of the new releases that have come out. If you see me tomorrow, there's a good chance Evil Toad has coaxed me into doing it. He might have a gun to my head. That way he can give me money. Whenever it'd be a lot easier and cost efficient to just give him the money and not have to buy the gun. But you know what I mean. Well, you have yourself a good one. Enjoy the Manola Road. Maybe I should enjoy a couple of their albums tonight. We'll see. I still need to get into a lot of new releases. We'll see you next time. Keep it metal. Keep it music. Just be good to one another. Love one another. Show some respect to one another. I know all of you do, but man, it goes a long way, and we're in a world that needs it. So